Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another live stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. Welcome, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for taking the time to come and join us today as we fly the brilliant, the wonderful, we all love it, the Boeing 757-200 on this flight from Grenoble, where we left our 320, ironically, but there we go, we're in a 757 now, and we are going to head up to Cardiff, where we departed last on our 757. There's not much sense to the route, as I know a few of you have pointed out already on the Discord. Don't worry, we'll have to connect up the passengers that get left over. Obviously, slightly more passengers can fit on a 757 than the 320, so there you go. Yeah, very warm welcome. Thanks for coming along today and jumping into the chat. Hello, Chickpoint. I hope you enjoyed your dinner. That's presumably finished by now. Mark, good to see you. Fly Sky Airways, good to have you here as well. And Richard V, thanks for coming and moderating. Tango Delta, good to see you. I hope you're doing very well. Dana J, Suresh, Alexander Galfano, we are indeed on VATSIM today. So yeah, hopefully we can get a little bit of traffic. We'll see. We're going to have to go through London. We're going to come in via Biggin into the south of the UK. Ebos, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming. Rasmus as well. John, Santiago, Dave, great to see you guys all coming along. And Ollie, good to see you. Jay Sims, hello to you. Jay Yang, hello. Isaac, ZB, so many names. Apologies, guys, if I miss anyone. Mike, I see. Warren, Tom C, Callum, Enrico Bianchi, good to see you as well. I hope you're doing well. Robert, Mr. Martin Thomas, Ross, Danny Rubel, good to see you as well. Sky173, I hope you're doing well. And Ross Grimshaw up in Scotland. I hope things are going well in Scotland. Kai, good to see you as well. Kai and Tom Corwin. Ralph Skyperian, there we go. Yeah, it's been a bit of a gap since our last stream. It's been almost a week, unusual at these times. So yeah, it's been a little bit, just a bit unable to get a stream sort of booked in really over the last couple of weeks. But glad to be here again. We are of course in X-Plane 11 for this one, which I'm looking forward to. Matteo Chewy, thanks for coming and moderating. I hope you're doing very well as well. Matteo's been putting up some excellent videos of some more challenging approaches in the Airbus around the world. Really nice, really good stuff. I think I saw the last one, the Paro one, which was great, Matteo. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. Looked incredibly difficult, though. Really quite something. Ollie won't be able to fly along now because back at school. But there you go. Oh, well, no problem at all. Yeah, we must get another group flight up and running soon. EC, good to see you. And Jay, I hope you're doing well. Right, 757-200. I don't really know what to say to introduce it. We've flown it quite a few times now. It's becoming quite a regular thing on the channel. I really like it. It's one of those airplanes that I would definitely go and fly if I had the chance. But sadly, it's just a little bit too old, a little bit too fuel inefficient for these days. But it's just so famous, isn't it? Often used, and the reason I like it so much is obviously that it was around a lot when I was growing up, taking me on holiday a lot. That was the standard way of getting around was in the back of a 757. Quite a high passenger load for its size, really, quite crammed in. And here we are, JMC Air, of course. This is a recent addition to the liveries you can get in X-Plane 11. It was only put up earlier this year, so I was really pleased when I found it. This is the Flight Factor version 2, of course. So yeah, great to see someone made the JMC livery. The link is in the description if you'd like to go and leave a review or so, and I'll leave a review once I've a little bit later anyway. But yeah, really nice. GFCLA is our registration today. Of course, Paddy made our excellent JMC livery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. So yeah, really good. Right off the ice, hello to you. Thanks for coming. So, as you can see, we're basically flying ground handling simulator today. We've got all of the stairs. We've got several different Flight Factor give you some ground handling stuff, and we've got our air stairs on. So the passengers and fuel are all loaded, but the plane is pretty much cold and dark. It's about a 1 hour 20 flight today, so really not too bad. So, oh wow, that's some sporty driving over there. Yeah, and that's probably not as fast as I've seen some ground vehicles move. But yeah, so we've got to get ourselves powered up and underway. Pretty straightforward in the 757, and they do helpfully include these rather nice checklists. So if we go to Amplified, it will take you through everything, but we know it pretty much by now. So we're sitting here, we're going to turn on that battery. That comes on. Standby power selected to auto, which seems to give us the most power. And then landing gear lever down, alternate flap selected to norm, which is down here. And then we can get that electrical power. We're going to use the ground power unit. So it's APU gen external power, written as one word basically, or one sentence, which isn't great, but there we go. External power comes on, but that's not enough. We need to establish it onto the buses. So we'll turn on the bus bars and the utility bus. And there we go. So now the airplane has its ground power. So electrical power, bus tie switches, AP generator is not an issue at the moment. AP selector start. I'm going to start it now because I will forget otherwise. So I'm going to start that because it shouldn't take us too long to get out of here. Chickpoint says we should have some sort of shared cockpit style plugin for ground crew. Yeah, that would be good if you guys could try with the ground crew outside. Loads of cautions and warnings, obviously, as the thing powers up. AP will be starting up at the back. Obviously, on this one, let me just move that slightly out of the way. Is the screen working? Yeah, it looks like it's working for you guys. You get that little flap that opens up here, all modeled nicely. Big fan of this Flight Factor 757. They've done a great job. Let's move that out of the way for you. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Opens up. Very nice. It's all here. APU exhaust, brilliant. You don't get that in Microsoft Flight Simulator even at the moment. I don't think the old APU exhaust. Jake would like the stream outside today. Yeah, you're allowed to watch this outside if any of you would like to. I give you permission today. Just this once though. Harry says TUI and Jet2 are replacing the 757s with the 737 MAX. My next holiday is on a 737 MAX. I'm scared. No need to be scared. I'm sure it's been very carefully checked over by this point after a year on the ground or whatever. But yeah, it is true. That's what they are replacing them with. Danny Roble, thank you so much for your $5 donation. Really appreciate it, Danny. Danny, thanks for supporting the channel so much. Danny says, hey Captain, how are you? Excited for the flight as I haven't heard of Grenoble Airport, to be honest. Thank you very much, Danny. Really appreciate the donation. And thanks for supporting the channel as always. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, we flew to Grenoble in the last, was it the very last stream? I think it was. And we did an RNAV approach. So we're going to actually have to depart. The terrain in Grenoble is the issue. We're obviously quite near to the Alps and it's all these hills over here. So we came in, flew over these hills, round and then in. Slightly steeper approach as well. So that was all quite good fun. I see there's a few people flying along today, which is great. So yeah, it's something that was quite good fun. So we're going to see a little bit of that terrain, but obviously I've only got the default X-plane terrain for this one. So there we go. But yeah, right. Let us, we're going to carry on with this really, which is basically the flow. So I'm going to put the irises to nav, iris left, right, center, otherwise known as 1, 2, and 3 for us Airbus pilots. Status display check. So this is down here. Actually, I think it's this. Check for the right warnings, but there's loads of messages. Verify quantities. So that is down here. We previously in this airplane had loads of hydraulic quantity issues, but I've managed to fix it. You can do it in maintenance in here. Someone did remind me last time, but you have to be stopped in at the gate. But there we go. So we have enough hydraulic quantity. Previously, we had loads of warnings on this. So it does over time wear out, which is pretty cool actually. I was quite impressed. And oxygen pressure. There it is. So that's all looking good. Right, now it wants us to go into the CDU. Here we go. Getting better at these Boeing CDUs, I think. I said that now, it will all go wrong. So all the data looks correct on the new AirAC. It seems to be updated. We're going to start from Grenoble. I said it wrong a million times last stream, but there we go. Grenoble. We're on gate Charlie 3. I don't know any add-on that works with. No, never does. So we'll just take the airport reference and put it in there. Then we're going to go to route, LFLS, goes in there. Cardiff, EGFF, we did depart from Cardiff before on a previous stream. Flight number, of course, we will be the JMC, which stands for James Mason Cook, I think it is. 269 is our number today. Not got a company route. Let's activate that. And I'll just press execute now, otherwise I'll forget. And then we go to departures, arrivals, taking off from 27 via the Danbo departure. We'll execute that. If I go to legs now, I can see that Danbo departure. Pretty good. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if we go to route, more importantly, next page. So there's to Danbo. I love this page. So good. So I really do think this is nicer than the Airbus one. Upper Tango 133 to Bagby. Then Upper Mike 733 to Pireg. Route is available if the Streamlabs bot is awake, which it should be. You should be able to just put exclamation mark route in it and it will come up. Brandon says, is it just me or does the 757 exterior look so much like the 321? Yeah, they are similar in their own little way. IRS to nav only. There we go. So Upper Mike 733 to Pireg. That's why one of the reasons I like the 321 is it reminds me of the 75. They're comparable in size, but the 75 is bigger and heavier as well. It can take more fuel. The 75 is a comfortable transatlantic airplane. Pireg, Upper Tango 421, QNAV. Of course, I know the 321 NEOs are getting there with the comfortable North Atlantic stuff. So it could be a whole new world in a couple of years if we start seeing that sort of thing. So there we go, to Biggin. Then from Biggin, we'll take Upper Lima 9. It's great that you can do the directs and everything in here. Upper Lima 9 to Compton, Charlie Papa Tango. And then that's the end of the route. Then it should be the Cardiff one, Charlie. So there we go. There's all our legs in, which is great. So route is in, and now I'll just go to the next page. That's all the routes. There we go. So we go to perf init, and now we'll enter this. So we can actually cheat. We can put that. We've got 12 tons of fuel on board. What's our problem with the cabin crew? Already complaining.
Sir, it seems to be colder than usual here.
Colder than usual. Okay, so let's put on the APU generator. Let's take off the external power. That just will stop me messing it up when we push back. Then I'm going to turn on the APU bleed. So that... Oh, no, what did I just flick? That's probably scrolling in this thing. Oh, dear. I'm not sure. That's auto. Maybe that was it. Yeah, there we go. So APU bleed now gives us duct pressure. And then we have to turn the packs to on. Reselect fans, trim air. And we'll set these to auto. And now, that's it. The airplane is providing us only with the number one side. Actually, pack 2 is off. I'd have to open that valve. We can have 2 packs. Don't think it makes much difference. I'm sure 1 pack's capable, but there we go. Anyway, 12 tons of fuel gives us a 0 fuel at 78.3. Reserves today, let me just check our flight plan. Reserves today, I need them to be alternates 2 tons, so 3.4. Yeah, so this is where, you know, reserves in a 321 NEO could be 2 tons, but in the 75, 3.4, so yeah, quite a lot. Cruising quite low today. It's an even flight level, of course. Does 320 work? Yes, it does. Cost X, 86. Don't ask me where SimBrief gets those from, but that's what we've got. So there we go. Right. We are indeed on vaccine, John. We are indeed. Pilot Stud says, booked my initial class 1 medical over the summer. Excited to get that over with and start my PPL. Good luck, Pilot Stud. I hope it goes well. Yeah, fantastic. PPL over the summer will be brilliant. You'll love it. Such good fun. Yeah, so anyway, thanks for coming along, Pilot Stud. Good to see you here again. Ethan says, Jet 2 aren't getting the max. No, they've got the NG, haven't they? John says, how's the S757 on FPS, I wonder? It's really good. I've had this. Have I had this since my old computer? I think I did have it on the old computer. Yeah, I find no problem with it at all. Let's use a little bit more takeoff flap today. I think we're going to go for a 15. CG, you can get that from here. Ground, 30. Gives us our trim of 3.4. Let me just write that down because I will lose that otherwise. Trim 3.4. Takeoff thrust, so we can leave it blank to go toga, or we can put in a number, usually quite a low number. It's actually possible, I've found out, if you... oh, don't do that. I hate when X-Plane locks the mouse. There we go. Right, if we scroll on here, you'll see the temperature up on the top of the ICAS 1. And if we keep scrolling, sorry, there it is. That's our flex temperature. And we scroll up and up and up and up. And it's not until we get up to here that you start seeing it reduce the engine power. So if I want to take a bit of a chunk out of the engine power, I can go to sort of plus 28, which is very low. You wouldn't go that low in a 321, but it's all different numbers, isn't it? So let's try a 30-degree flex. So we go to perf, 30. There you go, it's got it in there. It did it automatically. 30. No precision shift. And then reference speeds on, which is the way to cheat and put those in. No aeroplane does that. Well, none of these older airplanes did. And that is complete. So we've done all of our initial reference and our setup. Done our legs. Got the arrival. Got our route. I think that's all we need to do. We are getting used to that, I think. So let's get rid of that. Let's go back to our checklist. In-flight checklists. Suppose we could run a PA. Right, so done that. Yep. Great. Done. And those V-speeds will go onto here. So, pre-flight controlling. This is controlling because you just have to do this stuff in this order. So, yaw damper has to come on. The electric engine cont has to come on. Now, the hydraulic engine pumps come on, but we leave the electric pumps off. Otherwise, the hydraulics will pressurize. Not much to do here. We can turn on some of these lights, I suppose. APU is running. The electric generators can come on so that when we start those engines, they'll be ready. APU we are using, so ground power can go, but we're going to leave that alone. And that's it up there. Emergency exit lights needs to arm. Engine limiters, obviously, we want on. Ram air turbine is stowed. Engine start is on number 1. That's fine. Mode selectors, whatever they're called, auto. What do they call them? What do they call those? Passenger oxygen. Yeah, fine. What's here? What was it called? Engine control panel, engine start selectors. There you go. Slightly different name. Why not? Why not? Evening Super 6 Bravo. Thanks for coming along. Ask me the question once you're in flight. Yeah. That's why we've got to get the airplane set up. Mateo says, I won't be able to stay, unfortunately. I have my final virtual line check this evening. I'll dash to read my no terms. Wish me luck. Good luck, Mateo. Enjoy. Well done. Brilliant. You'll be absolutely fine. Mateo knows so much about the Airbus now. I'm assuming that's in the Airbus, but even so. Lucas, good to see you. Lucas says, I'm off work early and made the flight just in time. I'm going to fly CYYZ to Heathrow tonight. Just got Navigraph. Goodness me, that is one journey and a half. So fantastic. Enjoy that. And Tom Corwin, yes, Ralph's answered that. The ENSW keys are highlighted because that's north, east, southwest. Yeah, I know. A lot of FMCs or FMGCs use that. But there we go. What else have we got here? Great stuff. Right. Let us carry on with the setup. So that is all done. Time to get those lights on. We're into our sort of third row. Loads of rows on these overhead panels. So we'll put the position lights on, which is those red, green and white lights. Then we'll leave the rest of those off. Come down here, put the logo light on. I always like having that on. I like having some of these. No, I'll leave that light. I've set it to daylight for today's flight. We're going to have that running, so I want to see what's going on. Auto 1, landing altitude, it's just a couple of 100 feet over at Cardiff. There's a bit of a cliff on one of the Cardiff runways. Auto rate, please. Don't know why it has to be put to that arrow, but there it is. Put these signs on. Turn on the window heats, and that's that. Then over here, there's the temperature, 21 degrees, all reasonable, pressurized and whatnot. Good stuff. Right, do we need to turn on the bleed air switches at this point? Done, done. Yeah, we did that. Oh, this says auto, that's fine. Done, done, done. It never thinks we've done that properly. Engine bleeder switches on. There we go. Isolation switch. Verify the valve light is extinguished. Yeah, it is. And then it says engine bleeder switches. Verify off lights are illuminated. They are illuminated, so the engine bleeds are off. Good stuff. Right. Down to our Boeing mode control panel. This is pretty straightforward stuff. Flight directors are going to come on. We can arm the auto thrust at this point. VRDME should go to auto, but it would do that when it's finished aligning everything properly. What we can do is just check RV2, so init ref, index perf, takeoff. V2 is 140, so that is loaded in the IS window, which is what we want. Heading, we are going to depart from runway 27, so I'm going to put it on 27 for now. And then the altitude window we need to get set up. So let's bring up the charts. LFLS Grenoble, which I again said wrong many times. Chris Lewis says, just passed my air engineering course for my promotion. Now I am more qualified to diagnose the faultless pilot error. Excellent. Brilliant. Yeah. As long as you write that in the tech log after any pilot complaints. Brilliant. Well done. That's great. It's amazing, yeah, the journeys people are on around the world, but that's fantastic. Thanks, WSC Rog. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming along. Danny says, what's the average max speed the 757 can fly with wind effects excluded? Oh, we'll find out. It's pretty fast. We'll find out when we're up in the cruise. Yeah, good question. Let's see. Definitely quicker than a 320, that's for sure. Right, so we want to have a look at the departures. Right, that's interesting. It's not showing me the charts. How bizarre. Has anyone seen this before? Very odd. No matter. I've got them available to me. However, sadly for you guys, they won't show up. That's really strange. Really strange. Has anyone seen that? Let me steal it into my sim brief. There we go. Right. Very odd. Very odd indeed. Just close that out. Wonder if it works with where we're going. First time I've seen Navitab misbehave. Oh, we need to re-auth Navigraph apparently. Oh, well, there we go. No problem. No problem. That's fine. We'll get rid of that. I have the charts available to me. I'll explain them to you. Yeah. First time I've had that happen. Oh, well. So, there is the takeoff performance. Let's go to our legs. I'm going to get rid of that and just describe the departure to you. That's what you're going to get, I'm afraid, for this one today. So let's go over here. We look down, set the range to 10, and we go to plan mode. You can see on there our EFIS has plan, just like the 320. And here it is. We're going to take off. We get to 1810, above 1810. There it is. Above 1810. and then we make a left turn all the way around to the Echo Golf, which is an NDB on 397. Then we go from the Echo Golf. How do you scroll? Does anyone know how to scroll down the legs? Step, there it is. Echo Golf, and then to Lima Tango Papa, which is the Tour du Pont. I'm not sure how to say it. VOR, Lima Tango Papa. And then up to Dambo. So very straightforward, but it's obviously unusual because we are going to loop back around right on top of the airfield. So yeah, quite an interesting one. It's typically because of terrain, which is, as we know it is today. So what is the cleared altitude for that? We don't really have one. It doesn't actually specify, so it would be as per air traffic control, and there is no air traffic control. So in that case, there you go, you can see it's gone to auto. 115.55 is the VOR that we're going to, so that's good. Let's put in the NDB of 397. Okay, which will show up down here if I select that to ADF. There we go, that's pointing at the NDB basically behind us. Let's change this back to map mode. So we've got the heading bug the right way, pointing straight ahead because I don't want to turn until 1810. Then we're going to hopefully have LNAV as we come around the corner and go to the Echo Golf, which will follow. We've got this needle as a backup. Once we reach the Echo Golf, we can head up towards the VOR. And that's interesting. Why isn't it loaded on that side? Let's get the number 2 side ready. Legs. Okay, let's get rid of that. That goes auto, I hope. We shall see. Let's tune it anyway as a backup. 115.55. There we go. So we've got the VOR as well if we need it. Okay, right, that's all coming together then. I'm going to arm LNAV and VNAV so that they engage after we get airborne. I have had some trouble with the auto thrust suddenly reducing thrust on takeoff, and I haven't worked out why. So we shall see what happens with that. How are we looking outside? APU's up and running, all looking good. Evening, Joseph Mitchell. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're doing very well. Runway heading 269 is the doctor on board. Very good. I can't fly within 1 degree instantly on takeoff anyway. But yeah, we'll be going for our nav. But yeah, 269. Oh, you've got me. I can't resist. Going to have to set that to 269. Thanks, doctor on board, which just so happens to be our call sign for today. So, good. Right, let's carry on then. I think if we go to ground, let's start getting rid of some things. We're on the APU. We've got the fuel. We've got the passengers. Got the bags. Get rid of the chocks and the stairs. And then we'll click on airplane. Close all those doors, please. There we go. Oh, a bit quick to do that, but there we go. And these can all drive away. And now, like a ballet, we'll be ready to go. No, at least I thought we would. They don't seem to want to get rid of themselves as quickly as I'd hoped. Goodbye. Good. Now we're pretty much ready to go. Okay. Back to our checklist then. So, it says oxygen tests. It'll be testing your oxygen mask. Oxygen crew pressure check, which we've done already. Right. Flight instruments check. Time to get that weather reloaded in actually as well. QNH here, 1019. There it is. Oh no, 8, 9. Set 1019 on the standby, and then the great little feature, just click that screw and it will set it on the other side for us. There we go. So many nice quality of life things ready to go here. And then there's a lot of pre-flight controlling now. You can actually click through it because most of it is just checking things. But what I do remember we must do is we'll zoom down here. So we're on heading reference normal, not true, which is great. We need to select the computer to auto. There we go. Everything else as we want it to be. This is our EFIS control. So that's just what we want to display. So I'm going to, there's not much weather out there. So I'm going to put Navade Airport. And I'm going to click that, and hopefully that will do the traffic once the TCAS is up and running. There we go. Great stuff. Not controlling. We're not going to worry about that. We've done a lot of that. So before start, this should all be done as well. LNAV, yeah, we have armed LNAV, good stuff. Initial heading, initial altitude. So we're going to go up to, oh, there's a nice caution sticker, there we go. We're going to go up to, you know, some airports, when it's quiet, you can just go straight up. Let's go straight up to 250. Why not? Evening, Bacon Warrior, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. Great to see you. Manually increase throttle to desired level and ignore toga button should get rid of the throttle issue, says 233. Yeah, we'll have to do that then. Dave Hugh, though, screaming. Yeah, it is indeed. Marcel, good to see Marcel Dupre. Good, thanks for coming along. Evening to Louis Carlier. Right. Now, this is a weird Boeing thing. The 737 seems to be the same from what I've been finding out. We're going to power the hydraulics on the electric pumps now, so you'll see all our flight controls are sitting there. We have got some nice wing views. But we're going to power them up. And now, our ailerons and so on are all working. There you go. Don't know why we do that, but it seems to be the Boeing way to do things. There's cake and juices there. John's out of Viennese Wells. Oh no, disaster. But I did just make a lemon drizzle there. Lemon drizzle, very nice. Yeah, that does qualify. So, the next step really is to get our beacon light on and then we get underway. So let's swap over to the normal checklist. So we've done all of this. So before start checklist, fuel check. We have 12 tons, which is what we wanted. Passenger signs set. Windows are locked. MCP is set. Takeoff thrust is set at 30. Takeoff speeds are set. CDU is complete. Rudder and aileron trim set. They would be at 0, I would hope. Briefing is confirmed. By the way, I should tell you as well, for the taxi out, we're going to push back and then obviously we're going to take off. Yeah, there we go. Behind this traffic here. So let me join Unicom because I probably missed a few calls already as people push back. So we're going to push back and face to the east and taxi out along with our colleagues. Great stuff. Time to put that beacon on. So let's put the beacon on and we're going to squawk 2000, but let's put it to out off. Should work. No, we can do out on. I can't get too excited about transponder at this point. Next is before taxi, so that's gone. We are ready to go. Very good. It's exciting. Let me announce it. Grenoble traffic, JMC 269 pushing back from stand 3 to face east. I think I got the right frequency. Terrible at getting the right one for this. Better pushback, please.
Run to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
So we can cut the corner a bit. Get ourselves behind our colleague. There we go.
Run to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Fantastic. Airport elevation here. It is high. If you guys remember from the RNAV that we did in about 1,300 feet. So at this point, or earlier, you'd have checked that this does display 1,300, which it does. So all our altimeters are looking sensible. What warnings have we got? Engines shut down. Well, yeah, we know. Hydraulic, electric 2. But that will come on when we get those engines up and running. Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one. That I'd have to have more systems knowledge to understand why that's doing that. Lovely, lovely colour of green for the engines. Really like that. Is that down there behind Bacon Warrior? Let's have a look. No, I don't think it is. But I know what you mean. I think it's a Chinese airline. That's how it's pushing back. I don't think I'm receiving properly. No, I'm not. So I'll probably just broadcast over everyone. There we go. I've made that mistake many times in the 7.5. Remind me at the other end, guys, I need to tune the RNS. It's the other thing I'll typically forget in this airplane. Good though. Donald Hoskins, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Nice little terminal, really. This is just completely default scenery. There's an EasyJet 248. Very good. Modes, what have we got? We've got takeoff, takeoff, takeoff all loaded in already. VNAV now over armed. That seems reasonable. Little surprised to see it there already, but I think that's right. MSJN says, yeah, your flight from Grenoble. Okay, there's the call to release the brakes. Off they go, and start the clock. We're clear to start engines. Starting the engines in this airplane, quite straightforward. If we go to checklists, amplified, engine start. So you're going to bring up the engine display down here. Then you're going to turn off the packs, otherwise there won't be enough air pressure. You'll see the air pressure of the needle rise. So that's all done, and then we can simply put the left engine start selector to ground. Ground. Then we'll see N3 increasing. So it's pushing in that air. And we need to get it up to a decent motoring speed. So 25% on N3. At which point we can add the fuel. Pretty straightforward, but nothing beats the CRJ for easy engine starts. 25%. Fuel going in. There it is. Fantastic.
Easy 105, taxi to holding point at runway 27, Grenoble.
Oh, I panicked there. I thought that was an instruction. I thought we'd we'd missed their traffic control. 1903, good to see you. 1903 says, flew on a JMC DC-10 to Florida years ago. Wonderful. Yeah, it's good fun. I do miss it. That's it. Up and running. Pretty straightforward. Let's start the next engine. So that has gone back to auto. And now we're going to start the right-hand engine, otherwise known as 2. I think this is engine 1 or 2. Yeah, they're left and right. They seem to go on left and right. How interesting. I've never noticed that before. Left and right written down here. What about bleeds and things? Yeah, everything's done left and right. How funny. Pushback and X-Plane 11 is just brilliant. I agree, Anthony. Yeah, it's great. Over to 25%. Fuel on. Make sure if you're using the Rolls-Royce engine and the 757, run, not rich. Okay, there's the call to set the brake. Brake comes on. Yeah, I've made that mistake. And if you run it at rich, you'll burn more fuel. And then when you start your descent, it will starve. It won't have enough air, I think it is, going into it for the fuel. And it ends up just conking out, which is no good at all. Right, they're lowering the nose. That engine is starting nicely. And he says, hi, do you think you'll be flying in real life again soon? I hope so. I have no idea. I hope so. It's been a long time. Ethan says, it's almost time to annoy everyone who lives here with noise. Yeah, we're going to rock it out. 757 wasn't noisy for its day. It is considered a little bit noisy now.
Grenoble traffic, Chanex 42 Golf lining on runway 27.
Everyone's doing their best at the Grenoble. So there's Chanex 42 Golf. Brilliant. Yeah, it wasn't noisy at the time. Anyway, that engine started. All good. And there's the ground crew gone, I think. Oh, no. Still there. But now the crown for being the loudest thing ever is, as I've said before, the A330. Absolutely deafening. Oh, they were parked on the other side. I didn't know you could do that at Grenoble. There we go. I did see the call sign. Anyway, that's worked. Disconnect, please. And back to our checklists for taxi. So this is the amplifier. So this is basically the procedure. Again, really nice to have this sort of thing. Sorry, Chris, you've been called out by Streamlabs, but Chris says you'll annoy the engineers when they have a changed and cooked up igniter plugs. Yeah, fair enough. That makes sense. Okay, off they go. Oh yeah, fuel pump should be on. Very good point. Crossfeed we don't need it on, and center tank is empty, so we don't need those on. Great. I think that looks like a normal configuration. Right, pack flow selectors back to auto. Let's get some air in for those. Isolation switch off because they're fed by their own sides, which is absolutely fine. APU selector can come off. Are we definitely using the engine generators? They are on. Good, that can go off. Status display. Status check, all looking good. We've got nice and pressure. Flap lever check, set as needed. Going for flaps 15 today. 1, 5, 15. Flight controls, check. We're looking at it down on this little screen. And we always do a bit of this as well. Oh, that's the other window. There it is. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Sorry, EasyJet. Full down. Full up. Neutral. This is what happens behind a Boeing, I'm afraid. They always do their flight control checks before they go anywhere. So us Airbus pilots end up sitting there tatting. Flight controls check. Transponder check. Runway and turn off can come on. There it goes. There it goes. And the logo light, well, it's already on, obviously. We want to light up that fantastic. No, I don't. I want it on now. Absolutely. Right. Next one's before takeoff. Global traffic, JMC 269, taxiing, runway 27. Right. Brakes released. Away we roll. APU gen off. Oh, it's complaining. I think it will stop complaining when the APU turns off. I might have to turn that back on again. We shall see. Can't fly yet, but you can go to the pubs, says Mr. Teddy Bear. Yeah, I know. I know. There goes the Chanex. It's a shame that it doesn't include the Chanex livery. Still, it's quite red. Poor EasyJet. You're the unlucky one. Easy 105. Getting stuck behind me. John says, tutting politely at the Boeing, lack of queuing etiquette. Exactly. Taking all that time away. Because we always taxi while we do our flight control checks. You can see why it's called the flying pencil. It is. It's an unusually big single-aisle airplane, really. Really nice recreation of the livery as well, this one. Obviously, Paddy's done a fantastic job in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but this one was only done recently, so it's nice to see liveries get applied into X-Plane. You'll notice that in the thumbnail I had winglets. I changed my mind. I couldn't face having winglets. I thought it just looked better. This is how I remember JMC. So I wanted to leave it old. Right. Flight instruments are all looking good. We're going to go up to 25,000 feet straight away when we depart. Our SID's in. L never been over arms. We've got our takeoff performance. Got our flaps. Done our flight controls. So the next thing will be as we go to line up. AC455 says nothing beats the 30-year-old 737s in Canada. Yeah, they are quite impressive. The 200s are out there, aren't they? Kai says the flying pencil is the 340, isn't it? Oh, no, I hadn't heard that. 340-600, I suppose. Looking forward to that arriving in X-Plane. Really looking forward to that. Ethan says the wake behind the 757. Yeah, the wake is famous. A lot of airlines, I think I've said this before as well, they have special criteria for departing behind a 757 because the wake is so severe. It's just famous for being nasty compared to other aircraft. Right, what we're going to do is we need to get our trim set. So trim should be at 3.4, which is only visible down here. So that's that way, a little bit nose forward. To 3.4, that is on. Weather radar, let's get that up and running just in case we need it. Weather and turbulence, let's set the transponder to TARA. Got our NDB showing and our VOR showing. Good. Auto brakes can go to rejected takeoff. We don't need to arm the spoilers, I believe, in the Boeing, but one of you may be able to correct me on that. I'm slowly learning the way. Slowly. Bit fast, that. What's our ground speed? 14. Oh, 14 knots. No, not fast at all. Okay. I do like the sound effects. There goes the Alitalia using a heavy. No, it doesn't have to announce heavy. I don't believe so, no. No, that's why it was unusual. It didn't count as a heavy aircraft, so aircraft were given sort of normal spacing behind it, but noticing sometimes worse wake than you'd expect. Yeah. Nothing like the wake behind a 380. Almost caused a crash one in the cruise. Nicholas says, yeah, the 380 wake is impressive. I have experienced it. It's noticeable. Any wake can be surprisingly bad. Wake turbulence is something that it's so sudden. You can be in complete smooth air and then suddenly you'll just get a real jolt. No spoiler arming in the Boeing is right. Maybe you have to grab them for RTO, says John. Yeah, I think they're attached to either the reversers or the brakes. I'm not sure. But you don't need to arm them, which is quite a nice feature. Global traffic, JMC 269, lining up and taking off runway 27 on a Dambo departure. Right, round we go. Going to need to use the tiller for this. I should have done these things before. All right, let's see if I can use all my hands. Anyway, what we do want to do is get the white lights on. Don't need the wing lights actually. And the landing lights on as we enter the runway. Runway turn off should come off, but we'll leave those as they are. We'll do the rest once we are up there. Excellent. It does feel heavy, this. I do like the 7.5. It feels like a monster of an airplane. You can see that traffic over there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Over there on the departure, about to come back through just behind us, really. it's not really, it's not a short runway or anything like that here. It's pretty decent. Right. Oh, that's a bit intense on the brakes. 777, good to see you. Slightly late but wrong plane, indeed.
EC248, taxiing to Sierra 1, holding point.
Easy's arrived as well. Brilliant. So we should be nicely spaced from each other. I think that's all worked out. Here we are then. So this is where another pilot could have done this checklist while we were taxiing out. It's yeah. Let's go to the normal before taxi we've done. Oh, there you go. Normal would have caught that. Auto brake, ground equipment. Yeah, how interesting. Anyway, before takeoff, day for briefing reviewed. Packs off, flaps are set, stabilizer trim set, flight controls check, cabin secured, turn off lights. Oh yeah, we can turn those off. The hardest switch in any simulator. Next is the art of the takeoff. So I think we're ready to go. We've already announced that we're taking off. So bring up that PFD. Are you guys ready? Let's go. So we're going to stabilize the engines, and then I'm just going to click this little screw here to engage toga. But it may reduce power as we're going. If it does, I'll have to whack on a bit more power. Release the brakes. There's toga, EPR. Forward on the thrust. Great cockpit sound effects on this. Not so good outside, but there's EPR, takeoff. And away we go. Let's get those passengers back to Cardiff, where they're all desperate to be, I'm sure, after their skiing holiday. Alright, 80 knots, yoke to neutral, thrust hold. So I've got my hands ready with my auto thrust disconnect if I need it, if those engines rev down on me. I think it's a bug. V1, rotates. Oh, go on, into the air. There we go. Positive climb, gear is coming up. That flight director will eventually catch up with us. It's going to be somewhere between 15 and 20. Most of these sort of airliners are. There's LNAV. Once it's above 1810 feet, which we are passing now, so that's safe to turn. Round we go. Flat 15 helping us out with the initial angle. It will start to punish us soon. EPR VNAV speed. Lowering the nose. Round we go. Quite a fun departure this. It does try and accelerate quite aggressively. Anyway, flaps going to come up one stage. And another stage. Basically wants to level off, but we're going to get some warnings of this terrain soon if we don't start climbing. And above the F. Yeah, you wouldn't accelerate that level. No way. So that's the flaps in. Did the gear not come up? The gear did come up. Flaps should be up. There we go. We're only 800 feet above the ground. Right, let's get the autopilot in, make sure I don't miss anything. And we come screaming around. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is not how I've heard this is not how the real airplane should be. Now it finally starts to pull up. But I think that acceleration phase is a little too aggressive. We should be way higher by this point. Yeah, and now, because of the way it's putting that nose up, you'd really have felt that G there. Okay, so now we're going to the Echo Golf. Which we can see here, and we can see it on our nav display, obviously, quite helpful, right in front of us. Thanks for the subscription to Andy. Hope you enjoyed it. Right. There's the Echo Golf next to the Lima Tango Papa. We've got the VOR needle over there, and we can see it on a nav display. Thanks, Shay, for your subscription. Let us consider what we need to do. After takeoff, packs auto, landing gear up, flaps are up, altimeter set. It is indeed time to set standards. I'm sure there was a shortcut for that as well. There we go. Oh, and then click across. There we go, we're both on standard. Climbing up to flight level 250, but let's just go up to our cruise. 320, please. 32,000 feet. And away we go. And so, updating the heading bug begins. 010 for now. Soon we'll be above 10,000. Cabin crew is concerned.
Shouldn't I start the cabin safety demonstration?
Oh yeah, of course. We did one. Yeah, it was a good show for the locals. Yeah, that would have been a good air show. Indeed, MSJ. Yeah, agreed. That would have been fantastic to watch on the ground as it roars away. Right, that's enough of that. Thank you. So, next to the VOR, Lima Tango Papa. And then off we go. See, traffic's onto green now in TARA. It accelerates automatically 10,000 feet. But again, too aggressive. I'm sure the real airplane wouldn't put the nose down to level. Somewhere about there, 1,000 feet per minute. Anyway, 10,000 feet. Get rid of those landing lights. Passengers can walk around. Oh, no, they can't smoke. They can walk around.
Easy 248, take off from 827 Grenoble.
Oh, I managed to do the same thing again. Right. Yeah, that green line will eventually line up with the T/C. All working out. What else was I saying? I can't remember. I've said a whole load of things there. How embarrassing. Oh, yeah, I was saying that I like the fact that you can display VORs and airports on here at the same time. You can't do it in the Airbus. There we go. So that's it. This is default scenery in Human Reactions. Default scenery. Super 6 Bravo, thank you so much for your £5 donation. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. I hope you're doing very well. Really kind. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. If you send the message through, I'll be sure to read it. But thank you very much, Super 6 Bravo. John Keane says, sorry Cap, I saw the no smoking light turn off for 0.2 seconds and I sparked up. Oh dear. Well, now we'll come and we'll throw you off. So here we go, look at that. We're doing 310 in the climb, pretty fast. This is a ridiculously powerful aeroplane. We're quite heavy today. As you guys know, we took off at, we're 90 tons. So that's heavy even for a 321. That is heavy for a 321. And we are having no trouble, you know, just off we go, roaring away. It should have gone to climb thrust. It has, good. So checking it, the new mode is climb, which is good. MSJN says their mouse movement helps us know when you're muted. Yeah, that's it. Sometimes you'd be surprised how many times I've done it, and if I haven't been moving the mouse, I can just pretend I haven't. You guys wouldn't know. Maybe I was just having a break. Andy Mack, thank you so much for your £5 donation, Andy. Andy says, pubs open. Have a beer on me for all your hard work producing these awesome videos and live streams. Thank you so much, Andy. Really kind of you. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I will do exactly that with your £5. Thank you. Very kind. So yeah, really appreciate it, and thanks for coming along. I'm glad you've been enjoying the videos and streams. Yeah, it's been a little gap. I did have a couple of videos, but haven't streamed for a week. Last video was about the takeoff inhibit, I believe. So yeah, quite fun to make that video. And there's another new feature we need to make a video on, talking about the progress page. But yeah, thank you very much, Andy Mac, and thank you again to Super 6 Bravo. Matthew Presley, good to see you. Matthew Presley, our CRJ pilot. Matthew says, only jump seated in a 757 once on my commute before they retired it. Was in the high chair behind the captain's seat. Had it head in the ceiling up there, but boy, is that thing a rocket. Yeah. So, there you go. Oh no, there's a higher one. Yeah, very good. So that, it must be a great view. Ah, it's a shame. Yeah, you're sort of blocked out by this seat, but not bad. Not bad. So the 7.5, famously, you step down into the flight deck. So when you're standing here, you get a ridiculously good view out of all those windows. Yeah, really nice. Really nice. There we go. Punching through 20,000 feet and no problem at all. Why does a landing gear lever have an offsetting? Should it not just be up and down, says Brian? The off will depressurize the hydraulics. So the landing gear is one of the biggest strains. Landing gear and flaps are the two biggest strains usually on a hydraulic system. Other hydraulic operated things are the flight controls, thrust reversers, brakes, but none of those need the intense sort of pressure and amount of fluid that the landing gear and the flaps do. So you don't need to be running the hydraulics at, they're running at 3000 psi. You can see it there, hydraulic pressure left, center, right. You don't need to be running at that ridiculous pressure the whole time, especially with something as big as a landing gear, because they're mechanically held up. So by turning it off, it will depressurize the system, I believe. Certainly in the Airbus, what happens is you put the lever up, but it actually does all this automatically. Classic Airbus. So yeah, so this is what the Airbus does. It's just we have to do it ourselves in the Boeing. 737 is the same, up and then it turns off, whereas in the Airbus you put it up and then it automatically turns off as you go high and fast enough, and it automatically turns itself on again as you get lower. Baker Morris says, when you disappear for a while, I always hope you're out flying for real. Yeah, no commercial flying at the moment, sadly. Thanks, Kalish. Yeah, if you are enjoying, do please hit the like button. Really appreciate it. Thank you for those who have already. And yeah, if you are watching and enjoying, do please hit like. Makes a big difference to the channel. Helps our YouTube algorithms at work, which is always a good thing, especially when we've been away for a couple of days. Lauren V says the why for the most of the off switches is on a Boeing is it's not smart enough to turn them off itself. Exactly. Nicholas says the progress page is working. You've been hyping that page up for ages. Exactly, Nicholas. Yeah, the progress page on the A320 has been added in. Great feature. Use it every time. It's quite simple. I mean, I don't have a lot to say about it, but it's a great simple feature that I use a lot. John Keane says last stream I saw was your flight returning from the Maldives. I almost made it all the way through, but fell asleep an hour from landing. yeah. Don't worry, I struggled as well. And Human Reactions picked up the flight back to A350 the other day. Absolutely loving it. Your streams really helped me make my decision. Good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I was convinced by Matteo on our Discord and a few others who were really talking about it a lot. Because initially everyone was saying, oh no, don't bother with it. But then they improved it and they added the FMS and the VNAV and so on. So yeah, flight back to, I like it. It's a good one. We might have to hop it around a bit on some shorter flights. But we've got so many aeroplanes to use, I can't even fit it in. 757 likes by the end of the stream, says MSJN. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? Thank you for those who have liked. I've seen a few more appear there. Excellent. Chris says, when you do go back to commercial flying, I know these vids will be fewer, but hope to see a few Beyond Pilot style videos. I wish I could. But yeah, it's so difficult. I was always surprised that Beyond Pilot was able to do that. They were great videos, yeah. So it was nice to see. But I don't know if he's still doing those. Or not at the moment. Rakon, good to see you. Rakon says, hello Capitan, do you realise your chance of flying Pratt & Whitney's today? I hope you brought your parachute with you. Do you realise your chance of flying Pratt & Whitney's today? I hope you brought your parachute with you. Pratt & Whitney, aren't we in the Rolls Royce today? These are the RB211s from the Jumbo Jet. These are reliable, surely. Sorry, Ragon, I misunderstood. Justin says, Airbus, the lazy pilot's airplane. How dare you? How dare you? But yeah, it is nice, the Airbus. No doubt about it. Tom says, I saw a story saying Flybe will be back this year. Do you think it will be? Yeah, it could be. Airlines could get revitalised. But how much of it will be the same as the old airline is hard to say. Maybe it could just be the brand, couldn't it? But, it'd be nice. I hope as many people can get their jobs back as possible. So that would be great if it did come back with all the original people, or as many as possible. That would be good. Warren says Beyond Pilot isn't allowed anymore. I don't think. Yes, yeah, that's a shame. Yeah. Leonardo says got kind of late today, but glad I can make it. So I watched the landing. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, it's not too long of a flight. Look at this climb rate, passing through 30,000 feet. We're doing 2,000 feet per minute. So let's intervene a little bit. That's just a bit too fast to be sensible. 1,000 feet per minute for the last bit. Speed, vertical speed. There's our top of climb showing up. Last 1,000 feet. I think it will give us does it give us a light or a warning? Such a low cruise today. Simbrief said it was optimum, but there we go. Yeah, there you go, little green lights as we get closer. John says, Airbus is the epitome of work smarter, not harder. Yeah, I could agree with that. It's just so ergonomic. Matthew Presley says, filming a flight deck in flight involves a lot of regulator approval, more paperwork than I'd ever want to do. There you go. Agreed, Matthew. Yeah. There are a few channels. A few in America. There's I've forgotten the name. That's embarrassing. I really like the channel. It's he flies the American Embraer, so I've forgotten the name of the airline as well. regional Embraer jet pilot. Previously flew in Hawaii, I think, Outcapture. They're great videos. Yeah, really like those. I'm using Fly Life Studio for the overlay. Liz Charlotte says, hello, first time tuning into your streams. Hope you have a fantastic flight. Thank you very much, Liz. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoy it. There's outhold, so 32,000 feet. We are level. Power's coming back. We're in speed mode, outhold, LNAV. Great. VOR's auto-tuned 1167. Oh, very good. Yeah, it's all very clever. It really is similar to the Airbus. There's just a few extra things you need to do, but all looking good. In fact, let's get rid of that. Let's do a little systems check. Hydraulics are all healthy. And APU's off. There you go. Oxygen pressure still good. Brake temperatures, yeah, not a whole lot to see. Engine display fine. Fuel flow 1.6 tons an hour. I'm hoping that's in kilograms. 1.7. So yeah, it is thirstier by quite a margin over the Airbus 321. Yeah, noticeably. Otherwise, all looking good. Favorite instrument. Turn that on. Do a recall just to look for anything hidden behind. No, all good. Swain Martin, there we go, Harry. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, Swain Martin has some nice, really nice videos. Yeah, there you go. American Eagle, Swain Martin. You guys are all over it. Yeah, everyone knows Swain Martin's videos. There, they are good. Baker Morris says, beyond pilot lost his job. Ah, oh, yeah. See, that's the shame, and that's the problem. Yeah. Theo says, love the 757 and Rolls-Royce engines. My last flights were on a couple of them in 2015. I got to see the cockpit and it was much smaller than I expected. Yeah, cockpits are. So, I think it's more noticeable in Boeing cockpits as well, actually, the way they're formatted. This is, as we said, quite a narrow aeroplane for its size, which is part of the reason. But it's because, ultimately, all aeroplanes, no matter how big the aeroplane, they finish in a point, and at that point there'll be two pilots that both need to be able to reach everything here, everything up here, and obviously everything around them. So they always fit into the same part of the airplane, right at the front, obviously, where it all pinches in. So pretty much they're always the same size. There are some exceptions. The A380 obviously gets, I think a lot of Airbus aircraft, they get wider quite quickly. So the 320 gets really wide behind you. But even so, the actual cockpit, the 777 is, I think, the most remarkable one that I've seen. 777 cockpit, if you ever see one in real life, you walk into it and you think, oh, wow, you know, it's like a massive airplane, largest jet engine intake in the world and all that stuff. And then you get to the cockpit and it's tiny. They've got this tiny little yoke, which looks smaller than this one. Yeah, but of course it has to all be reachable by two pilots sitting in their seat. Yeah. Yeah, it is a funny one. Giuseppe's Gaming, good to see you. Giuseppe says, what about a video about offset ILS localizer approaches? I think that'd be really useful for a lot of people, me included. Cool, yeah. Offset approaches. Now, we will have Orbex scenery as we arrive closer to Cardiff, so thank you to Orbex for that. But we're going to have Orbex Cardiff and Orbex South UK, so that should be quite nice. Nicer views. Not bad, though. This isn't bad. I think X-Plane's pretty decent. But, yeah. Yeah, thanks Giuseppe, thanks for coming along. Birdman says, can you please sum up in a few sentences your thought on the technical difference between flying Boeing and Airbus? I just can't do that, I'm afraid. There's too many things. I'm also, having never flown a Boeing commercially, it's more than I wouldn't be giving you a fair representation. It's sorry about that. Yeah, so the Boeing is different to the Airbus, but technical differences. There's more things that need to be turned off and on. This is closer to an Airbus than the 737-800 is, though, as I've said. Hoping to get that on the channel soon. I had promised I'd been doing a bit of homework on the 737. Camera crew is still fine. Yeah, so the bigger thing when you take out the autopilot is just the pitch power couple and all of that sort of stuff. But from a technical side, Airbus has a really nice ECAM system, which is missing on this sort of ECAS system. This just tells you what's wrong, and then you look it up in your paper book. I don't know if this. I really don't know the 787 at all, so maybe the more modern Boeings are different to that. Matthew Presley says 777 cockpit is tiny. That shocked me the first time I was up there. Yeah, there you go. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It is tiny. Sam says I'll be back in half an hour. Got to get my tea. Enjoy, Sam. Peter Gonzalez says I'm enjoying the live stream. Brilliant. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for saying so. Fly 24. Fly 24. Thanks for coming along. Fly 24 says I'd like to say happy birthday to a man whose favourite seat on the plane is a window seat. Happy birthday, Bob. Hugs. Panasonic. Happy birthday to Bob. And yeah, the window seat is obviously the place to be. So let's have a birthday window seat for Bob. There we go. Is that now which window seat would Bob like? We've got the engine view with this lovely lime green colour showing through, and we've also got the wing view. See what's going on. See a bit more of the action, I think. But yeah. So there you go. So happy birthday, Bob. I hope you're doing very well. Hope you're having a good day. And thanks for coming on Fly 24. Tango Delta says, keep in mind the 757 is 5 years older than the 320 in terms of EIS, and probably even much older in terms of when it was designed. Yeah. Yep. And that's what frustrates me with the 737-800. It's designed after both of those. There we go. Newer Boeings have more information. Yeah, newer Boeings, they cancel out the trim issues and so on, so they're getting very similar to fly from the Airbus, I think. Matthew Presley says, Swain, from talking to his colleagues, he has a... people over here tend not to like influencing pilots, but Swain is better than some of the influence stuff. Yeah, I think Swain's videos are really professional. That's what I like about them. I think they're just nicely put together, and he seems to explain stuff in a really nice way, and quite fair and honest, but always professional sort of ways. That's what I like about Swain's videos anyway. But I've never spoken to Swain. But yeah. Oh, I just missed the notification. Sorry for that. Thank you for buying the t-shirt. Anonymous, I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, merchandise is available, of course. So thank you very much. Anonymous, I hope you enjoy your t-shirt. Thanks for picking it up. User, hello, good to see you. Chris Lewis, if you're watching. Richard V says, sorry, misread what he said. Sorry, Chris. I think Chris was also called out by Streamlabs earlier. So sorry, Chris. We're not usually this ready. Fly 24 says, legend, thank you. I do love this channel. Excellent. Glad you enjoyed it, Fly 24. Hope Bob's happy. We'll go back to Bob's other view. There we go. Yeah, happy birthday, Bob. Bacon Warrior says, that would be my choice, or further back, would like to see things working. Yeah, so behind the wing is the more favourite view. I think just this unique lime green makes this view appeal to me. Lauren V says, shame we weren't Air to Bob for Bob's birthday. Yeah, there's no Air to Bob for X-Plane, but that is a good point. We do have the Air to Bob livery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Mr. Espresso says, what is your favourite passenger seats? That's a good question. I do like a window seat, obviously. I really like it if I can see or get one of the bulkheads, obviously, for legroom reasons, which is always nice. If that's not available, I don't mind being right at the back. There is a nice thing about having it depends on the airline and how their seats are configured, but if you get the last row, then you can usually recline your seat, or not usually, sometimes you can recline your seat without anyone behind you, so you don't have to worry about it, or you're not hitting their knees or something. The alternative is to just sit wherever you want and not think about that, but yeah. So I quite like, I wouldn't mind being at the back. The only downside is obviously if it's a sort of long haul flights, that I wouldn't do that because of the toilets. See, a lot of thought goes into it. If I ever get to fly long haul, I'm always straight onto Seat Guru to check where I should be sitting. See the complaints about where the plugs are and so on. Arnav says, I recently joined Fly UK. Virtual Rhino was also good, but it stopped working for some reason. Oh, that's a shame. Everyone's saying happy birthday for Bob. Excellent. Dougal, good to see you. Dougal's having dinner. We'll see you later. Thanks, Dougal. Giuseppe says, if you need scenery to demonstrate, 04 right in the new Nice airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator World Update. Or Tokyo and Airbus. Ah, so Nice is updated, is it? That's good. Yeah, okay. Good to know. Lots of nice approaches into Nice, obviously. Thomas Gray says, my home airfield is Cardiff. Fairly quiet at the moment, as you'd imagine. Yeah, Cardiff was never actually, it's never too busy. Yeah, I imagine it's pretty quiet now. By the way, someone was asking about the speed. We're cruising at 7.9. What can we push that to? If we go speed 8.1, 8.2, and we're only down at 32,000 feet. 8.3, we can get to 8.3, but yeah, not as fast as I expected actually. I must confess, I thought a little bit quicker. 777 said, anybody talked already about latest update in Microsoft Flight Simulator? Same as ever, nearly smashed A320 flyby into low due to very low FPS in nice sim shutdown. Ah, it's a shame. Landing gear 001 says, where do you set your decision altitude? So DH is there, decision height we're going with in this airplane, and it's set on here. You can just scroll it there, 150, there you go, 150. It's pretty handy. But you do it as a height, it seems. Actually, what is that going to do for us? HSI, oh, it's just the brightness, there you go. Let's turn the terrain on. I'm not using that radar. Bit of a headwind today. There's a test. Thank you very much, Super 6 Bravo. Thank you for your £5 donation. Really appreciate it, Super 6 Bravo. Yeah, thanks for supporting us again. Super 6 Bravo says, what happens if you are flying a star and for whatever reason you can't make the next altitude restriction? Sorry to keep asking, but I may have to go. No problem, Super 6 Bravo. Sorry, I'm really sorry I missed your question because you did very kindly donate to us earlier. So, what happens if you can't make the altitude restriction on a star? No problem, you tell air traffic. So those restrictions are there, and if you should aim to meet them. If you can't, you just tell them, and then they'll either take you off the star, vector you away, or they may just phone up another air traffic control unit and say, listen, this guy is going to come through at the wrong altitude, or that sort of thing, you know. So that's what they'll do. So you just got to tell air traffic, and then it's their problem. Then, you know, they're as long as you've told them that you expect to miss it, and the earlier you can tell them, the better. But of course, if you're really far in advance, usually there's a way to fix it. Descend a bit quicker. Sometimes it's air traffic's fault as well, and they may tell you, they may say, don't worry about the restriction because we know we've made you so slow or whatever. So that does happen as well. But yeah, thank you very much, Super 6 Bravo, for your donation. Very kind. Palm9, thank you for your 20-year donation. Really appreciate it. Palm9 says, have a nice flight. Thank you. Thanks for supporting the channel again, Palm9. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Sat up nice in the cruise. Not too much to concern us right now. No terrain or weather as we head up, and we aren't too far away really from getting ready to descend. But yeah, thank you very much, Paul9, for your kind donation. Thanks, Super 6 Bravo. But thank you, Paul9. Really, really very generous. And I know you've supported us before, so really appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying it. Jetpack away. Hello. Axel Jack says, window gets an armrest and wall. Middle gets 2 armrests. R gets an armrest and a bit of extra leg. Yeah, that's it. That's how it has to work. The middle person has to have both armrests or it's not fair, definitely. Giuseppe says, I haven't had a single problem with the new world update in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Excellent. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go pretty soon. Flight plan says 0.8. Yeah, we're going to storm along a bit faster. So, can we go a bit faster? Maybe 8.3, but it's just not worth it being that close to the barber's pole, as it's called. Liz says, what are your thoughts on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 performance? I have a 73700X and a 2060 Super. Got it before the 3060, and I get 20 to 25 FPS usually on mid-high end. Yeah, the performance, I don't think the performance is terrible. It's just some things push it over the edge, but I must say, I think it's okay. Microsoft Flight Simulator, for what the graphics it does give you, even at sort of mid-range settings, I think it looks fantastic. So it just occasionally gets a little bit frustrating when there's bugs in the performance that suddenly drop it. But we've done several streams and had great results, so I'm quite happy with it, I must admit. I do appreciate my computer's a little bit more powerful than average. Bacon Warrior says, I updated Microsoft Flight Simulator the other day to try it this weekend. Now I've got another 22 gigabytes. Yeah, that's it. I wanted to make a video on it yesterday, but I couldn't get it downloaded in time. Hello, Jetpack Away, if I didn't say so. Laith says, hello, I'm very sorry for not watching and joining your live streams, but I have a question. Is the autopilot doing the piloting, or are you changing everything for heading? Autopilot's flying along, so we're using lateral navigation mode. So it's following this magenta line through the routes, as you can see. We are still over France. So I'm going to leave it to do that, because that's what our traffic control expect me to fly, and I'm just using this to update the heading bug, so it's roughly pointing in the same direction. An annoying feature that I do not like. I don't see the point in it. Airbus doesn't have that problem. There you go, I had to say it. Got to mention the Airbus at least once every 10 minutes while flying any Boeing. Of course. Captain Huey, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Hope you're doing well. Edpath Earth 230 says, what would be the minimum height from terrain during an approach if you're going over hills near an airport? Well, usually our safe altitudes are 1,000 feet above any obstacles. Usually. Not always, but usually 1,000 feet. So 1,000 feet over the grounds. You won't want to get much closer than that. At least 1,000. Marcel says, love your videos. I've become so used to the 320, so how difficult is it to learn the Boeing format 737, for example? Well, a lot of my community that we've been lucky enough to build here, they flew the 737 first because there was the freeware X-Plane 737, the Zebo mod, which is fantastic. I have finally managed to try it out. It's brilliant. So I think the 737 is the hardest. And I say that not because of the difficulty of actually using it. It's just it's so different in many ways. However, once you're flying it, it's just an airplane. Once it's in the air, even the fact that the overhead panel is so different is really not such an issue because it all just stays where it is. You just sort of turn it on and off. But on the ground and so on, it's a bit of a different sort of kettle of fish as you try and learn it. So it's always the setup that takes the time to learn on these airplanes, like this 757. Chris Lewis says, phew, I'm having quite a time of it today. Yeah, sorry, Chris. Oh, dear. We are on VATSIM, and I'm on Unicom 1228. Am I probably on the wrong one? No one's contacted us, so we should be alright. Super 6 Bravo says, okay, thanks. Happened to me yesterday on a flight sim, obviously, but the wind was blowing me everywhere. I just could not get down. Yeah, it does happen. If there's a strong tailwind, you may not make a restriction. Matthew says, happens a lot when they have to slow us down a lot at altitude. I can slow down or I can go down, but I can't do both. In that case, they normally tell us to delete the altitudes. Yep, that would depend. Yeah, but entering the London TMA, which is very, very busy, they would rather you slow down first. And if you can't make the height, then they'll work it out, usually. So Chris is back indeed. Excellent. Jetpack Away says, if you were a passenger in an Airbus, would you tell them you were a pilot in case something happens and you need to step in? Nope. No, there's no. I mean, obviously, if there was some reason that you would need it, then of course, and you know, if you're traveling with your own airline, then they may know you, or they may have your name or whatever. But if you're traveling in another airline and so on, obviously, then there's, you know, I just can't picture the scenario. Put it that way. I can't picture the scenario. But of course, if absolutely required, if that famous PA comes out that we all see in the films, then of course. But I just can't picture it being required. Lauren V says the solution is double wide armrest in the middle seat and bonus frequent fly miles for picking them in advance. Yeah, true, yeah. But then you'd have people picking the middle seat and splitting up any pair of people who want to sit together. Checkpoint says they made the whole of the Netherlands look like Amsterdam. According to Microsoft Flight Simulator, I live in a canal house now. Oh, there you go. There's other parts of the Netherlands other than Amsterdam, really? Of course, yeah. Because they added a few new houses, didn't they? They kindly showed us archetypes, they called it. I quite liked that. Lath says, so the autopilot does everything, but you check everything. That's it, indeed. Thomas Gray says, all we usually had at Cardiff was the Welling, Speedbirds for maintenance, Eastern and Tomjets. Thomas Cook and Flybe also. Real shame about those guys. Yeah, that's it. It does impact these regional airports when one of their airlines disappears, and that's a shame to lose two. That's not good at all. Base rate at 42k, says Paul Smith. Sadly not. Nice try, though. Anthony says, CRJ was frustrating to learn, but once you do start up from cold and dark a few times, it becomes a matter of minutes. Yeah, exactly. Nope, still no TTA add-on pack, Andy. Yeah, I still don't have one. I did see it appear, though, for a few seconds on Amazon. I got the email telling me it was in stock, and then it disappeared. At almost the same moment. John says, first time in Concorde, I was something like 3 hours to off blocks. Well, yeah, I can imagine in Concorde, John. My record is the F14. It took me, I think, a week before I could turn it on. And when I finally took off, I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. Alexander Beck's been kindly helping me out with DCS. So DCS has had a big update recently, so I'm hoping to get some flying done in that soon. AC455 says the 737 is not that bad compared to the 320. I just hate trimming. Yeah, it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. Is RAM important in FS 2020? Yes, I would say so, but it does depend on what settings you're trying to run and where you're trying to fly. Flying over London, yeah, I've used over 20 gigabytes of RAM quite easily in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I run at 1440p with ultra settings, so I'm sure you could lower that number. That says, hello, I have a question. What is the crank mode for on the 320 engine mode selector? It's so that you can power the engine with air and just spin it around, so you're cranking it around without actually trying to start it. It's used to blow out unused fuel from the engines, things like that. Kai says, I have to do some homework. Thanks for the great stream. Have a great day. Thanks, Kai. Thanks for coming. Enjoy that. I hope it's not too painful. DCS is great, says Robert. Yeah, I agree. I think it's great. Dana J says, I was able to order the add-on on Amazon, but it says it'll only come in late May. Hope it doesn't get cancelled. Oh, yeah, that's a bit annoying. Yeah, I thought it was in stock for like the next day. And he says, yep, got the same mail. Was on the page straight away, but no stock appeared. Oh, that's annoying. Robert says, F14 has auto trim. Flick autopilot on and off. Very good. And she says, my CRJ struggles to get flight level 3 0 plus. Actually, that's 300 and above. Not sure if a bug or I missed something during setup. I need to read all the tutorials again. That is interesting. I'm sure we've taken it above flight level 300 before. We'll have to fly the CRJ again soon. I do like it. Captain Huey, thank you very much for your £1.99 donation. Really appreciate it, Captain Huey. Very kind. Captain Huey says, hi, have a great flight. Boeing 777-300ER flight soon. Thanks so much, Captain Huey. Really appreciate it. And is that available anywhere? Are we talking about the Flight Factor 777-300? Because I've been, everyone keeps warning me away from it. The 777 is certainly a possibility. That would take a bit more learning. Another one to fit into the hangar. But thank you very much for your donation. Really appreciate it, Captain Huey. If there was a good one out, then I would definitely be considering that, definitely. Ah, there we go. Alex says, same for me. Devs think it might be icing. So there you go. maybe you need to remove the ice. I always just delete the ice in Microsoft Flight Simulator because it's such nonsense. These jet aircraft don't pick up much ice at all, and when they do, you can break it off very easily, and it doesn't form anywhere over these areas. It doesn't form around here. It might get a bit on the nose here. You do see that after landing sometimes. Very occasionally sort of in unheated areas, but, you know, leading edge of the wing, that's about it. Intake of the engine, but then that's the bit we heat very, very often. Good question though, where is the anti-ice on this? There it is, yeah, very simple. Fuel already down to -20. I always think that's a bit cold, a bit quickly. Jack, good to see you. Jack says, hi all, finally get to see one of your streams in person. Excellent, Jack. I hope you enjoy it. Brandon M says, is there any normal operation in which a pilot may fly the Airbus with auto thrust off, like in a Boeing? Yeah, you can. The Airbus can dispatch with auto thrust off, no problem. So I can do it here. There we go. Right. There you go, auto thrust is off. We're accelerating, a little bit too much thrust. So yeah, and I'm sure the Boeing 757 can dispatch without auto thrust. So yeah, the difference in the Boeing and Airbus is in Boeings, when you take out the autopilot, you'll take out the auto thrust, I think is the most common. Certainly on the 737 and therefore I imagine the 757. Whereas the Airbus family, we normally leave the auto thrust in. We don't disconnect it and fly manual thrusts unless we need to. But I've had it where the auto thrust is just inoperative. You're not allowed to use it, so then you have to fly manually. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, there's no auto thrust on lots of airplanes, including lots of regional style aircraft, as we all know from the CRJ these days. Anyway, enough of that. Good question. How do we re-engage it in this? Auto thrust arm. So it's arms. Speed. And there we go. Speed. Taking over. Excellent. Riesler Van says the CRJ needs to have anti-ice turned off to get to the higher levels. There you go. Thor, good to see you. Thor says time to get eating phase of dinner. Thanks a lot for the stream. You're welcome, Thor. Thanks for coming. Oh, I've missed a lot of messages here. Yikes. Sorry, guys. I'm going to miss a few messages now. Finish 747-200 coming soon. Manta Heavy, perhaps. So that is going to be in X-Plane 11, is it? The 747-200s? That could be good fun. That could be really good fun. Thank you very much for your very kind donation, Johannes B. Johannes has been very kind to the channel as well. Thank you, Johannes. Johannes says, as always, $11.96 donation. Thank you, Johannes. And Johannes says, as always, thank you very much for the interesting stream and keep up the great work. You're very welcome, Johannes. Thanks for coming along. I hope you've been enjoying it. Sorry about that. Yeah, hope you've been enjoying it, and thank you very much for that very kind donation. Thanks for supporting the channel as ever so generously. Thank you, Johannes. I hope you're doing very well, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. Really kind. Right, messages. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Yeah, so a lot of people talking about the CRJ's climb issues with the anti-ice on. Makes sense. Matthew Presley says Microsoft Flight Simulator icing model is laughable and needs a lot of work. I have it off as well. Yeah, it's hopeless. Yeah. Can you show overhead panel? We can indeed. There you go. It's just a nice panel. Very straightforward, I think. Can't wait for PMDG 777. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, wing de-icing is the worst for taking. Even on the Airbus, wing de-icing takes a lot of performance out of the bleed air. It takes a lot of work for not a lot of performance out of the airplane, but a lot of air out of the bleed air system. Airbus does give you more leg space, full flap. I do agree. Well, for pilots anyway. I'm not sure about passengers. Sada says, I ordered the TCA add-on from Amazon and I received a Hotas Warthog magnetic base. It's super frustrating. Ooh, that is a bit frustrating. Yeah, that's not ideal. Giuseppe says, you really should try some flights in Japan since you want to expand. It's perfect for both CRJ and 320. Yeah, Japan. Okay, have to do that. Yep. Yeah, we did our Bonaire, and I think that's as exciting as we've been so far. Japan is nice. This full flap with the world place, it does look great too. Okay, definitely want to do. Matthew Presty says, for everyone having trouble with the CRJ at altitude, remember if the temp is less than -40 static air temperature, turn the anti-ice off. Also, the plane is thrust limited at altitude, so you will run out of thrust very quickly. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, thanks, Matthew. So, same in the Airbus. You don't need to use the engine anti-ice even if you're in cloud, as long as your temperature outside is below -40. However, I know what's happening, which is Microsoft Flight Simulator covering the airplane in ice even when it's that cold. So yeah, it's a bit of an annoying one. 8455 says, I forgot you cannot land with auto thrust in the 737. I just set it to about 130 knots and disconnected at about 40 feet to idle the engines. Yeah, so the problem with doing that in an Airbus, as the engines spool up and down to follow the speed, which is what all the auto thrust system's doing, it can only just look at the speed. What it does is they power up and down, and we've talked about this pitch power couple a lot, and you know it's very big on this airplane too. So they spool up and down, which pushes the nose up and down, and that ruins the trim. So if you're flying and you add a bit of power, you know you need to put the nose down a little bit, and if you take a bit of power off, you know you need to hold the nose up a little bit, and that's separate from having to retrim from the speed changes. It's a separate sort of issue. There's none of that in the Airbus. It accounts for it. So as the auto thrust applies and removes thrust, the pitch power couple doesn't change. The airplane automatically accounts for it. So the magic of that is you can leave the auto thrust in and it won't ruin your flight. However, in an airplane like this, if I take out the autopilot and I don't remove the auto thrust, then it might see the speed's dropped 2 knots, so it adds more power, which will ruin my trim. I'll retrim the airplane a little bit, push the nose down, and then it will have started to accelerate, so it'll take the power off, and then the nose will drop, and you'll just sort of oscillate along. It's not very good. So I actually think it is a bit nicer to fly these with the auto thrust out for when you're manually flying, just because it removes that issue. Because you can just set the thrust a bit more stably. You're not chasing the speed as much. Because as pilots we don't chase the speed, but the auto thrust can only look at the speed. Liz says, love how you read every possible message, shows the dedication and love you have towards your views. Hopefully viewers, but yeah, thank you, Liz. I do try. Yeah, a lot of people are having the trouble in the... Oh, there you go. John had the same issue even without NTIs. Interesting. Why does nobody fly Popsicle Airlines, says Chickpoint. Yeah, that's a shame. Alberto says, good afternoon, everyone from Chile, especially to the best flight sim teacher, 320 sim pilot. Thanks, Alberto. I hope you're doing well. I hope things well for you over in Chile. Fantastic. Love to visit Chile as well. Yeah. So many places to see around the world. Lauren V says, would we have to take a classic 747 down to Tenerife North? Oof, it's controversial. Wonder what we'd do with the 747 Classic. I'm not sure what route we'd do with that. I have to think of something. Would be good fun though. Obviously we won't be using it long haul for a while. That's the 50,000 marker for that, so we've got a bit of breathing space before that happens. Simon C says, have you tried the working title CJ4 yet? The system depth is really impressive. Even the VNAV works now. All in all, very much usable on VATSIM. Would that be an option for a stream? Yeah, it would be. We did use in the early days of the working title mod. We did use it once, and it's definitely an option for a stream. Again, just fitting it around everything else is the issue, really. Yeah, it could be an option. It's good to hear how good it is, though, and everyone's very impressed with it. Thanks, Simon. The other problem I have with the working title CJ4 is I do not know how to use that flight deck at all. That is my most difficult one. Absolutely hopeless. Right, we must be coming up to Biggin. There we go. There's Lid. So we're heading over the channel, arriving in England. So hopefully we'll see some Orbeck scenery, but I'm rather concerned it's not there. So maybe I was talking nonsense. I've got no assistance settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Nope, it's set to real and all the assistance is off. Down a J. Yep. Sublimation, says Matthew. Yeah, goodness me. There's a word I haven't heard for a while. Giuseppe says, if you'd like some insight on Japanese destinations, feel free to drop me a line on Discord. Japan is basically my sim home turf. Oh, excellent, Giuseppe. Okay, cool. Something to consider. Lauren V says, Fukuoka is a great approach in Japan. Back in the day, it would get a regular back-to-back Japan and All Nippon 747s to Haneda, and it only has one runway for civilian traffic. Oh, does sound good. Jack says Boeing 777 that crashed in San Francisco was too slow on final, likely because auto thrust turned off when the autopilot was turned off. Oh, there's a whole load of things that went into that one. Yeah, a lot of different automatic modes. I can't even touch the surface of it because I did read the report on the San Francisco one, and it's really interesting. It's the airplane was serviceable as far as I can tell, but there's a lot of things that went on in that approach, and it's. Yeah, I don't think it was because the auto thrust was just turned off, though. I think there was a whole load of other problems as well as that. Even if that's what happened in the end, yeah, I can't remember. Matthew Presley says, I've only seen ice form below -40 static air temperature once or twice. It really doesn't happen. Yeah, so ice below -40 is there is a phenomenon that can cause it, but it's very rare and it's quite serious. You don't want to sit in ice forming at those temperatures. Something like ice crystal, it's like crystal icing or something like that. It's quite nasty and it does cause issues for the engines as well. So there you go, we don't tend to do that. Where's JMC based? JMC was it only existed for 3 years. You hardcore viewers will remember, but it had quite a few bases. The classic bases: Gatwick, London Stansted, Manchester obviously, and then a few others. They had Bristol, Birmingham and Newcastle. So very sort of, think of it became Thomas Cook. He got merged into Thomas Cook eventually anyway. So there you go, along with my travel. Addict says that I love the CJ4. It's good for training for the CRJ. There you go, very good. Fly-by-wire version 0.6 version trailer out in an hour, says Off the Ice. Ah, very good. There you go, version 0.6 is on the way. Captain Huey says, where is JMC base? Sorry, did that one. Yep, we've done JMC bases. Oh, there's an update coming to the fly-by-wire. Then that's going to be, yeah, I'm going to get working. Bacon Warrior says, I wasn't going to get the 742, but I'm seriously tempted after seeing it. Oh, I haven't seen it. I'll have to look this up afterwards. Captain Bagov says, my sushi just arrived. Kicking back and enjoying the stream. Me, Jack, excellent. Enjoy the sushi. Captain Bagov, thanks for coming along. Tiger Delta says, fun fact, if you plot the A321 XLR and the flight factor 757 on a passenger versus range chart, they occupy the same spot. Too bad we don't make the 757 anymore here. Yeah, there you go. Ed Haslam says, great live stream as always. Thanks, Ed. Ed says, got to head off shortly. Off flying model planes tomorrow and need to prep. Teaching a very excited 10-year-old to fly too. Wish us both luck. Good luck, Ed. Fantastic. What models do you fly, Ed? I do like model airplanes as well. Nicholas is having trouble with performance in Microsoft Flight Simulator around Tokyo. Yeah, it's called quite serious performance hits. Marcel, where am I? Where am I? Let me look. Sorry, guys. Piano Learner, good to see you. Enjoy it later. The FO is on a rest day again today. Yeah, she's been, yeah. She had a couple of she's been a little bit, feeling a little bit under the weather for a couple of days, so she's still recovering. Rakon says, regarding your next stream, be aware that in the last days of DirectX 11, the primary CPU overload tends to status in the sim. Deactivating multiplayer or lower terrain vector data helps. Okay, thanks, Rakon. Yeah, interesting. Captain Franz says, hi Captain, thank you for inspiring a new generation with the content. You're welcome, Captain Franz. Thanks for coming along. Rakon says, Osobo stated that DirectX 12 should be big FPS improvements. Happy days. Excellent news. Axel Jack says, how do step climbs work? Would it not be better to climb to your final altitude straight away? No, if you're too heavy. So step climbs would be, I mean, this was a short flight really, didn't need any step climbs, but you'd need step climbs on a long haul aircraft because it'd be too heavy to reach its cruising altitude straight away. So as you get lighter, your optimum goes up and up. I might try flight factor 320, Roni. Yeah, I might. I haven't decided yet. Andy Mac would like a video on transponder and TCAS. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I'll have a think. Yeah. I've got a long list of videos always that I'm trying to work my way through, but TCAS is a bit of a trickier one. I wish we could activate TCAS events in the simulator. Chris Batten says, I was lucky enough to get a TCA Quadrant add-on set from a company here in the US about 1 week ago. The website sold out of them in less than a day. Almost as hard as trying to find a graphics card. Yeah, it is hard to get hold of them. Yeah, it is indeed. Matthew Presley says, I think we called it super cooled water droplets over here, but I can't remember. Yeah, I know what Matthew's saying. Yeah, that's talking about the ice, the strange icing you get in the cruise. SB, good to see you. Cardiff 757 says, thanks for giving Cardiff some attention. We are often forgotten. Yeah, no problem at all. We're on the way. I wonder if there's a controller there. We did have a controller arrive last time. Looks like there isn't. So we will work it out ourselves. No problem there. Taslam says, I'll be flying the Twin Otter and T28, both electric. The boy will be flying a classic high wing trainer with a glow engine. Fantastic. So the Twin Otter and T28, are they both E-Flight, Ed Taslam? Those, I know those models if they're the ones. I haven't seen the Twin Otter model, but it does appeal, especially after we flew the Twin Otter on the channel. Yeah, these are remote controlled aeroplanes, by the way. Usually foam electric ones. That's what I fly anyway. Hi, Glorious MC. Thanks for coming along. I'm not regularly flying in real life, Jack. No. Not at all. Not at all. Checkpoint says, I was excited to see the distance feature in the A320X, even though I haven't been flying in the sim for a few months now. Yeah, it's good. It's great as these little details arrive. Fix info we want next. Fix info. That'll be great. The screeching sound you hear in the cabin when the engines are starting up is the hydraulic PTU. It's not heard on the A320NX because you won't hear it in the cabin. You can turn it on in the iPad. Sorry, you won't hear it in the cockpit. You will hear it in the cabin, in the real aircraft, but you can turn it on the iPad. It's the hydraulic PTU. So when one engine's running, it wants to power the other system. There we go. We're getting our nice scenery. Time to bring up our plan. I'm just going to bring up the charts over here. Close that. Close that. Close that. So I'm expecting the Cardiff 1 Charlie arrival. Anyone flying along, just in case that's what you're doing. Pretty simple. It comes in from the Compton VOR 11435. 1151 is the big in VOR. So is it? No, it's not the big in VOR. Yes, it is. There we go. Yeah, 31 miles, big in VOR in front of us. So we're going to go from the Compton VOR. Let's just have a look in here. Legs. Put this to plan. Fill the screen. Fill the screen. No. Right. Then if I go to legs, plan, step, Bizru, Big In, Goxall, Compton, and that takes us straight to Cardiff. So that's no good, is it? So let's put in the what's the runway in use going to be? Plug in. Thank you. EGFF. We did do a non-precision approach last time in the 7.5, which was good fun. It's good fun to try that out. But I think we're just doing RLS today. 120 at 7, so that's going to be RLS 12. What's the transition? So Cardiff 1 Charlie. Zoom out. Ooh, that's a bit of a wind change there. What happens if I do that? I have a horrible feeling the transition is going to be that classic thing where it... Yeah, no. We're not going to fly the whole procedure like that. Erase. Oh, what have I done? How do I clear all that out? Who knows? Does anyone know? It's just selecting and activating. I don't want to do either. I want to erase. Oh, why did I do that? I shouldn't have fiddled. Loads of arrivals. Let's just stick in another one. Okay, now RS 1 2, Cardiff 1 Charlie, no transition, execute, legs. Okay, I see what it's doing, because the Cardiff, so the 1 Charlie brings us basically to the Cardiff NDB, which is overhead the airfield. So actually, I suppose with no traffic around, we will have to fly procedurally. Then we're going to do the RS 10. Let me get that ready. So that means we go outbound from the NDB. I'm a bit curious as to why there were 2 options then. Because that brings us back in from Cardiff 12. Okay. So what's all this looping around here? I think that's the go around. That's all the go around. Yeah, that's the go around. Okay. Okay, it's not so bad. Right, so let's add a transition. Why is it Cardiff 1 and Cardiff 2? Let's try Cardiff 1. Execute. Legs. And try again. Compton. Abdulbury. Right. Cardiff. Then D277, which is the radial we're going to take outbound. We need to go to 8 miles. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So that is 7 miles. Then 8 miles. 2,200 feet. Yeah, that looks fine to me. And then we come back round and in. We could fly this manually, actually. Maybe we'll do that manually. Could be quite fun. Outbound is based on the Cardiff NDB 388.5. That's going to be a little bit tricky to tune. I wonder if that works at all. No. Right, so we get outbound, then we turn back round and in, and just fly the RS. Pretty nice. So that won't actually be too inefficient. We'll just go through the overhead of the airfield, which will be nice. Get a nice view in. As we come back round the other side onto the RS, 2,200 feet. Airfield elevation for Cardiff is pretty low. Where is it written? 205 feet for the runway. 205. So let's set that up on our landing altitude. 200. You have to put in the cruise altitude in the 737, which luckily you don't have to do on the 75. Another reason I like the 75 more. There we go. So 200 feet elevation, and in it goes. So yeah, I think we'll be flat 15 as we sort of come around the corner, descending from FF12. Sorry, FF12, FF12, which is going to be about 6 miles to touch down. So we'll be gear down as we pass through the 6 miles and inset that RS. RS frequency 110.7, course 118. So let's make sure we tune that. 110.7, course 118. Zoom, zoom, zoom. There it is. Good stuff. So we've got the NDB. We've got 3. Let's tune it on both sides. Got the NDB, got the RS. So that's all tuned in. Next one will be the Minima. Ed Haslam says, yes, they're both E-flights, foamies. I've just ordered their P51 and Focke-Wulf 190. You're going to need a bigger hanging suit. Fantastic, Ed. Yeah, they sound brilliant. I absolutely love the E-flight models. I really, really want to get a chance to fly one of their. They make a F4 and an F18. I'm sure you know, jet, ducted fan jet. But I'm a little way away from that. But yeah, I'm hoping to get back into flying some of their foamies. Brilliant. Hope you enjoy it, Ed. Right, let's get back out of plan. Let's go and orientate ourselves. Progress page. Ooh, top of descent's coming in about 10 miles. Okay, looking good. Oh, there you go. Auto-tuned. 11435. Good stuff. Arriving into Cardiff at 15:29. Bit misleading. It's about 20 minutes from now. Good stuff. And we're going to arrive at that 7 tons. Loads of fuel. Loads of fuel. No problems today. 1 is for larger aircraft, 2 is for smaller. Yeah, that's normally what I expect. Sorry I can't show you guys the charts. But this one doesn't seem to have the 2 different routes. So I'm not entirely sure what its difference is. Maybe it's the go-around. Not sure. The go-around, by the way, if we need it, we'll go straight ahead 118 to 4 miles on the INS DME, which will be displayed over here. And then we make our left turn back round to hold at that NDB. Terrain is quite high in the northern area, so when we're north of the airfield, we need to be above 4,000 feet. We're going to arrive through the overhead of this procedure at 3,000 feet at the Cardiff NDB. As per the STAR, the Cardiff arrival, there's not really any restrictions. It's not too bothered, so I'm just going to work on being 4,000 feet at the Charlie Delta Foxtrot NDB. So we go to the next page, Charlie Delta Foxtrot, 3,000 feet. So why is that? Oh, 3,000, I said 4, but I was wrong. 3,000 feet. So there we go. So it has it all sorted. So its top of descent should be calculated using that. So today, for once, we can descend in VNAV. Let's do it then. VNAV, please. 4,000 feet. Oof, getting into FPS hit there. Power spooling back. Drag required, says the CDU. No surprise there. We're just a little bit late, but you can see here we're about 1,300 feet high. You could also speed up a little bit, would work. So if I wanted to catch that, I could go flight level change, put the speed up, and it would just put that nose down quite aggressively, and I won't need those speed brakes. So we'll do that at first until we regain that profile. This way we get a bit more drag. Isaac says, can't wait for the Toliss A340-600. Would be nice to see it on the channel when it released. Oh, don't worry, Isaac. That 340-600 will be on this channel. Don't you worry. I can't wait. So excited. That'd be brilliant. Jack says, US airlines preparing for a significant increase in air travel. If European carriers do the same, will you be back flying? Oh, if we do, then yes. But yeah, things in Europe are not quite the same as in America at the moment, sadly. Yeah. Good question, Ollie. Ollie asking about, do you need to wait for the battery light to turn off before turning the next ADIS on? That used to be a rule, and as far as I can tell, it isn't a rule anymore. Lauren V says, the 757 realised a bunch of stuff from the 737 was silly and tried to fix it, but when the NG came along and said to be legally a 737, it had to be just as antiquated as the predecessor. Exactly, yeah. The charts on an Avitab LJ4, sadly, because yeah, I didn't have the account activated today. My mistake. Marcel says, often wondered when airline pilots return to work eventually, you as well, I hope, do they have to spend time in the simulator before flying? Yeah, we actually keep going into the simulators to sort of keep current. So yeah, we do still have to do a bit of flying. Ooh, there's a TCAS alert. TCAS is 1,500 feet below and climbing. There it goes. Talking about TCAS earlier, weren't we? And there we go. There are 1,000. That was a pretty tight separation for both of us. They would not cross aircraft that close to each other. Yeah. Maybe we could have been leveling off. That's funny. Why did it do that? I thought at flight level change it would just dive down. Was that the TCAS? Did it do that when the TCAS happened? I should have read those modes more carefully. Dana J says, how's the vaccine program in the UK? Once more people get vaccinated, then I assume more people will start flying. Fingers crossed. That's what I'm hoping. In the UK, the vaccine program seems to have rolled out quite quickly. A bit quicker than some other parts of Europe, which is, you know, so in America, because America is vaccinating everyone and it's one place, they can fly around domestically, and that's where a lot of the American aviation is, domestic, isn't it? And it also means that even when the pandemic's been ongoing, domestic flights have still been happening. But in the UK, there aren't many domestic flights, so it's sort of, you know, you need the whole of Europe to be working on the same page. But what seems to have happened is each country is on their own rules. So it's a bit like America, just dividing up each state and then saying, well, no one's allowed to travel into the state from here. So that would have also ruined aviation in America. But that isn't quite what's happened. They've because they can still travel domestically. So by treating every country in Europe so differently, we've ended up in a situation where there's so many rules that it's very difficult to travel across Europe at the moment. So hopefully that changes soon in the future. Because in the UK, the domestic aviation market in the UK is very small. Flybe was the biggest domestic. Well, not well, they were mainly UK domestic, so they would have been all right actually if the UK opens up its domestic flying. Dave's getting jab Saturday, excellent. And he's had the jab, excellent. Yeah, that was good to see that work. I agree, Santiago. Yeah. Right, so it's still complaining. It's 3,000 feet high, and it's getting worse. Down we go. Speed brake out. Yeah, that's because I've been busy chatting instead of winding the speed up like I should have been. Look at these big barn door speed brakes on the 757. No trouble there. Look at that dive. Wow, now that is an angle I wouldn't go to in an airplane. The rate of descent must be ridiculous. Yeah, that is too much. You can't put the nose down to 10 degrees down like that because people would literally be falling down the aisle. Goodness me. Strong tailwind too. But we'll keep the speed brakes out. Right, let's set up the last bits then. So auto brakes can come to, let's go to 3. It's not the longest runway in the world. Minima for this one, we said we needed decision height. Today it's just 200, the classic. So we got 200 already set. Great, arriving soon. Look at that, we are closing in on our vertical profile very quickly. Just need an after landing plan. We're going to land 1, 2, and then vacate off to the left. Probably miss Delta, so maybe Charlie. You guys can't see that, I'm afraid, but there we go. Just a taxiway on the left. It was out of VNAV speed before TCAS alert. Yeah, it was. I was in flight level change, but it really reduced. It added power. I didn't quite understand why. Anyway, we're now below profile, so I'm going to go to VNAV. Idle VNAV speed, and now what's the complaint? Drag required. I don't think it is. Well, we'll see actually. As it slows down to the VNAV speed, it's possible that we'll go back through our vertical profile and end up high again. We shall see. Right, let's run these helpful checklists. Done that. Descent, pressurization, landing, recall. Let's do the recall. Just press that. No warnings. Auto brake set. Oh yes, of course. What am I thinking? We need to go init ref. There you go. It's adding power. It thinks it's too low on the VNAV profile. Right, let's go for a flat 25 landing, I think. 130 knots VAP. So 135 is what we're actually going to use. You add 5 in Boeing's. I was helpfully reminded by a Boeing viewer, which is great. And there's the RS 1107. It says, now we've had this before, but no, that does match. 1107, course 118, course 118. The database in here does tell you, which is nice. And that is all we need to do, I think. Don't think we need to put any more weather information or anything like that in. No, great. Matthew says the US is also massive and it's not practical to get around to the vast majority of the country without flying. No, exactly. Yeah, no, it's a much more larger domestic market than we see here. Approach briefing complete. Good. Right approach. Next is the altimeters and nav aids. I'm surprised the person has no commentary. No, they didn't seem to mind, did they? Imagine being a passenger in your first flight in that nosedive. Yeah, imagine. It was quite an aggressive nose down. That would have been the problem with that. Bacon Warrior says, drag required comes on when it's trying to slow down. Okay, so it was just trying to slow down. Fair enough. Matthew Presley says, I think it was this channel, but I was pointing out that even a regional, this is a misnomer, airline in the United States is an average flight of 700-ish. Just under 2 hours. Yeah, I remember, Matthew. Yeah. And you can tell just from even Swain's videos where those in those small Embraers, and then they're flying down to the Caribbean and so on. So those are long flights. It is a different sort of style. Thanks, Bacon Warrior. No, I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. Epatha says, so pilots get priority for your job, or you have to wait for your age group? No, pilots have to wait. Yeah, there's no priority here. Not in civil aviation that I'm aware of, no. Calais says, UK has a good road network, so they don't rely on flying a lot. I don't know. There'll be people who sat in traffic jams who may disagree with that. So we are... Look at that. There's somewhere we should all recognise by now. That is our Bristol. Orbex Bristol. Fantastic. Brilliant. We've done a few flights out of there now. Cardiff will be just over here on the other side. Not long to go now. 10,000 feet in the descent. Let's get those landing lights on. Let's get everyone sat down. It's time to go back to the real world. No more ski chalets and après ski. Time to get back to work. Chris Lewis, I hope that comes true. Chris Lewis has spoke to the UK Health Secretary a couple of days ago. The UK will be sending out our surplus vaccines once we hit herd immunity. Yeah, fingers crossed we can get there soon and help out everyone else as well. That'd be great. All right, idle VNF speeds. That still seems to be working. It's going to slow right down now. Presumably coming back to 250 knots for 10,000 feet. 8455 says Canada has CRJ 900s doing 3-hour flights. Oof, that's a long way on those quite small aeroplanes. Leo says, I just got my second jab yesterday and been enjoying the stream. I'll rest right after, as fatigue is more prominent this time around. Been drinking plenty of water, mind you. Safe landing, Captain. Thanks, Leo. I hope you feel better soon. Fingers crossed. Kelly says, good to compare to Norway where I am. There you go. Yes. So I suppose in terms of the road network, it is definitely, there are lots of roads and you can get around on them. But yeah, there are some serious traffic jams in certain parts anyway. Speed being a path. Down we go again. Augustine says, hi, 320 Sim Pilot. Just catch the stream. Hope you are doing well, and let's see the butter. Oh, I don't know about the butter, but thanks very much. Appreciate it. Okay. 240 knots it's gone for. Let's see if this... I mean, I haven't done a full procedure. We've done RLSs, we've done non-precision approaches, but I'll be interested to try out the full procedure. Which is what we're about to do. Yeah. Going to go through the overhead, outbound, background, and inbound. Can't see any traffic to affect. Let's just check that weather once more. So, we're going down to an altitude, so it's time to set that QNH. We should have done that earlier, really. QNH is 1031. 1031. Out, disagree. The Airbus is quite good. The Airbus has a little delay before that warning comes on, so you don't get that warning straight away. But we can send it across. 1031, 1031, 1031. So, even a little bit higher than we thought we were. Looking good. 10 degrees there with the wind straight down the runway, 6 knots. Perfect. You see the FPS drop. Look at that, down to 34. Oof. Excuses for today. 757 is the excuse, most certainly. And what else can we use? What about the runway? Is there anything interesting about the runway? 2,300 meter runway, but an inset threshold, so probably about 2,000 meter landing distance. So that's quite short. So that can be an excuse. We've got to just land it. We've got to just land it, guys. There's no excuse, no reason to be soft. Yeah, very good. It's a normal 3-degree approach though. Light headwind. Pappy's on the left, so see how it looks. I haven't flown the approach into Cardiff with the Orbex scenery. So there's that will be Cardiff Airport. There you go. The Wizard's already on the ground, well ahead of us. Should be some traffic scooting around. Oh, that's hopeless. And there's St Athan. Look how close it is. So we do not want to get the two airports confused. Yeah, you get airplanes stored over here, things like that. I think airplanes have flown from Cardiff. Airliners have flown from Cardiff to St Athan, which is quite impressive. Straight up, straight down. Hope the passengers are enjoying the view. Ooh, the frame rates. Please hold on, simulator. You can do it. Llamas on the runway, says Hayden. There you go. There's a few alpacas out there. Hi, Ninte. We should add landing excuses to the approach checklist, says Adrian Berg. Yeah, we should do. Thanks for coming along, Adrian. Right. Anyway, there we go. Right. Sorry, guys. Just had to sort something out. Chris says, really good eyesight. You can see the planes on the ground. Exactly. So, this is the fun. We get to go right through the overhead. I do like doing that. Matthew says, just blame it on the practicing a carrier crash landing. I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, this is F-14 training day. So, I'm practicing for the DCS. Which I've been practicing for months. Chris Lewis says, I went on a tour of St. Athan back in 2002. Got to see the Sepacat Jaguars up close. Fantastic. Ninte, hello. There's a cliff at one end. That's a good excuse. Yeah, so if you land on the northerly runway, there's a traffic landing. AFR. Excellent. Yeah, here, the terrain just comes up very suddenly. A bit like Jersey. Oh, I do like flying around the UK with the Orbeck scenery, and that's why the Canaries are quite good too. I just didn't have time to do a full Canaries flight. There's a few planes parked up, so we'll have to steal a stand that we can. Right, leveling off, it seems. I wonder what it would do on the speed as well. I'm curious. It's still in VNAV speed profile, so hopefully it will do that itself. Thinks we're on profile, so we're about to pass through the overheads. 92 minutes later. I wish this would stay on the last page. Altimeters, nav aids, all done. For the approach checklist complete. The landing checklist next. Remember, guys, landing at flap 25 today. 25. Don't think it makes much difference, but there we go. Flap 25 can be an excuse as well. Here we are then. That's rather tropical blue water for Cardiff. Where's the airport? There it is. Oh, we've done a really great job. I'm really proud of us all today. Let's see. Well, I'll be more proud if I make it down without a TCAS alert. There could be someone on approach. Can't see anyone out there yet.
Cardiff traffic, taxiing to gate.
There we go. Cardiff traffic, JMC 269, beacon outbound to land runway 12. Okay. Will says, walking back from my local shop, couldn't miss the landing, so I've tuned in on my walk back. Careful with your walk, Will. Don't cross any roads. But thanks for coming along. Smooth flying. Good to see you. There we go. So the Channix in front. I think it was a Channix departing in front of us. So they are just joining the ILS. That's fine. So we're passing outbound. There they are. We got them on TCAS. Oh, this is a good add-on. I do like this add-on. Ooh, just working. So they're there, just joining the ILS. We are heading outbound. We've slowed down. So let's put out the first stage of flap. Will it slow down for us? So flaps are going to 1. What's the flap 5 limit? Flap 5 is at 220. Oh, I like this. That's quite nice. Anyway, 220. So we don't need flap 5 yet. Anyway, we're down to 4,000. We actually can go down to 3,000 feet as we were overhead. I should have put 3. I missed that. So there we go. In fact, now we can go down to 2.5 until we're 5 miles out. So that's why it's gone off VNAV. So now it's going to dive down a little bit. So I've not given the computer a fair chance here. There's VNAV. I'm going to put the speed brakes out and help it down. After 5 miles outbound, which we've passed, we can drop down to 2,200 feet. 2,200 feet it is. I do struggle to see the DME. Thanks very much. There you go. Lovely. Right, round we come then. I don't understand where the ILS DME should show up here. Anyway, I want to slow down as well. This is too fast, so I'm going to overrule that. Let's go vertical speed. Wind that vertical speed right back. Wind the speed right back. Because we are quite low now. Radio altimeter will come alive soon. There's vertical speed. 2,200 feet is our platform as we point back in at the ILS. So speed can go back. Let's come back to 180. Let's bring the heading back all the way around to 120-ish. Yeah, so we're only 9 miles out, doing 200 knots. Next stage of flap then. Flaps coming out. Crossing over the coast. Look at that, sporty. Let's go to flaps 15. Out they travel. Quite slow flaps on this. Very slow, in fact. Quite nice, though, to fly with smoother, slower flaps. 2,500. We should be at 2.2. Keep coming down, please, airplane. Right, pointing inbound now. We can see we're on that intercept heading. Arm approach. There's glide slope and localizer armed. 8.6 miles out now, so that's pretty reasonable at 180 knots. Let's come back to 160. 160 will be no problem when we are flat 15. Out capture localizer, so glide slope to come from above as we continue to slow down as it levels off at 2.2. Never heard of the Welsh Antilles. There we go. Very draggy approach, but in comes the glide slope. 320 Simpilot is just an A318 if the 747 SP is short. Yeah, very good. Reaching excuse minimums. Yeah, we are. I think we've got a few of them in now. Smooth flying. Just unloaded the fly-by-wire 321X and want to say thank you for all the detailed tutorials and reviews you've given me. I'm now fully confident in flying it. Excellent. Enjoy. Smooth flying. Thanks for coming along. Glide slope. There we go. So we said flap 15 at this point, which we are. Gear comes down. Let's go to flaps 20. Start bringing the speed back. We wanted. Now on the 7.3, what I do like is it shows you the speed up here. 130. So we're going to go for 135.
Cardiff traffic, runway vacated.
135.
Golf, can't wait to see the border.
Excellent. JFC 269 Cardiff traffic. We are final approach to land runway 12. Great. Check I'm not still transmitting, which is very embarrassing when that happened. I'm still a bit traumatized. Let's go to flaps 25. So that's our landing flap. So I guess that R is V. So actually it does show you on the speed tape. The 7.3 writes it down here, so that's even better than the 7.3 because it's on the speed tape. Although I know this is a retrofit. This isn't what the 757 shipped with. This came later. I cheat by having that speed tape there. Maybe we'll try a flight without it. We'll go super old school. Right, cabin is secured. Speed brake. Oh, yeah, good one. Speed brake, please. Arm. There it is. Speed brake is armed. And cabin, speed brake, landing gear, and flaps. That is the landing checks complete. So we're going to take out. Oh, yeah, we should put in the other autopilots. There we go. We get land 3. Flare and roll out at armed. But we're not going to do an auto land, of course. If it's not Manta, it's not butter. There you go. Right, so 2 whites, 2 reds. Reasonable length touchdown zone. Stable at 1,000 feet. Landing checks complete. We are clear to land. We don't need that now. I can go off. Yeah, so you can see it's not the longest runway in the world. So I will use max reverse. And if we're later on in the touchdown zone, I'm going to use manual brakes as well. There's all our traffic in front. Brilliant. Good. All the landing lights are on. Passengers are all sat down. We will, of course, get a replay after this so we can enjoy all the lovely views of Cardiff. So here we go then. Let's figure out what is our EPR. So I'm going to manually set that. So auto thrust coming out first, 52-ish% on the N1. Sorry, I don't know why I bothered saying EPR. Let's take out the autopilot. 2 clicks of that. And then I'll take... Actually, I'll leave the flight directors on. Because they are still useful information for us. Now, I don't want to have to retrim it. So if I add power, you'll see that nose rises immediately, even though we're not going any faster because of the power change. So just trying to balance that. Glide slope gets very sensitive in X-plane at this point, as we know. 52% power, more than enough, if a little bit too much. Keep it coming down.
50, 40, 30, 20,
Idle.
10.
Floating. Hold it off. That's pretty late. Max reverse. Get those brakes on. There's 80 knots. Wow. Okay, those brakes are more powerful than I expected. Yeah, that was a bit of a float. There's no way we could have stopped by that exit. That would have been a serious serious piece of braking. But there we go. Yeah, the 757. It does just a little bit too much of a flare, I think. There, we shall see. But still down safely into Cardiff. So, I hope you all enjoyed it. Great to be here. Now we've got to scoot along to this exit. Hopefully the person behind are... yeah, exactly. That is trading runway for butter. Or, not butter, but trading runway for a smooth touchdown, which is not a great habit to get into. To be fair, I realised we were a little bit high and you could have put it down a bit sooner. Yeah. No more blinding pink box. Yeah, there is a blinding pink box for the landing feet per minute. That one seems to have got it corrupted in the 757 overlay. I'm not sure what's happened. That stopped way faster than I expected there. I just went onto the brakes. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I don't think that's realistic. Let's have a look at our brake temperatures. 2 and 1 so far. We shall see what they get up to. Yeah, I don't think that's not realistic. No way we could have made that exit. It's just hard to judge. It's easier to judge, obviously, in a real airplane when you're moving. But even maximum braking, I'm not sure. Anyway, thanks, Ed. Let's go and get ourselves parked up and then have a look at the replay. I hope you all enjoyed the flight. Thanks for coming along. Always great to be back in the 757, and it's been a joy and pleasure as ever to have you guys come along. Let us get rid of those big landing lights. We'll get rid of the white anti-collision lights, and we'll start the APU. Get the flaps in. Speed brakes in. And there we go. Such a long aeroplane, so strange to taxi. Riza, hello. Right, just going to get ourselves parked up. Hopefully we can find a stand. I think we were the last one. Did we get overtaken by traffic behind us? JMC 269, runway vacated. Okay. Thanks, Chip Point. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming. Marcel, thanks for coming. There is an easy coming in after us. Excellent. Stabaka says, oh no, I've missed the stream. Just been on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Fly-by-wire 320X now has the progress bearing distance feature working. Yeah, exactly. I need to get a video done on that. Thanks. I've been working away for a few weeks and I missed so many updates and live streams. Don't worry, we haven't been that busy this last week. Thanks, Ed. Enjoy your model flying tomorrow. I'm very jealous. That should be good fun. Santiago Perez won today. They were closest. Excellent. Yeah, that stop distance was yeah, insane. Such a good looking airplane. This great looking airplane, great livery. Really like it. So I can see the stand I want. We are going to go and park here. Turn off those. Oh, I'll leave the lights off now, I think. I guess that's basically the taxi light. APU's on. APU Gen can come on so it doesn't all go dark on us. Thanks, Dana J. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Bacon Warrior. Yeah, I haven't flown the 300. Is there a 300 available for X-Plane? I might be tempted by the 300. $200 is the classic, but I could be tempted by a 300, no doubt. Deep landing, says Mr. Martin Torres. Yeah, exactly. Not in theory, your performance covers you to the end of the touchdown zone. But on these shorter runways, obviously, it's not great to do that because the result is you have to brake a lot harder. But we landed at the end of that touchdown zone there on those last white markers, and we could have come off at this taxiway if I'd kept on the brakes. Right, stand 7. This is where I wanted to be. Air France is parked up already. Wow, those brakes doing 2 and 1. That doesn't seem too bad. Unless that's 2100 degrees. I assume it's not, though. Yes, there is. It's the more expensive pack. Well, I probably missed it on sale then. I didn't realise. Should have thought of that. Oh, we did the centre line. Anyway, which one of these should we go for? Probably that one. Yeah, see, the brakes are hyper powerful in this. He says, if I could set the parking brake. There we go. Right. APs are up and running. Generator online, I think. Yeah, AP gen online. Yeah, so engines coming off. Clunk, clunk. So, welcome to Cardiff. Thank you all for coming along today. Let's see our EasyJet colleague land over here. Sorry, Easy 105. You get the privilege. Oh, much better. Landed where we touched down about here. Excellent. Very good. Right, well, thank you all for flying along. Thank you for those who've kindly taken the time to come and watch along today. Let's jump into the replay. The last EasyJet. Sorry, EasyJet 248. I'm going to disconnect. We're going to have to jump into the replay. I hope. Let's just do it step by step, and that might help it out. Okay. So, what happened here then? You're welcome, Chris Lewis. We'll try to remember that for next time. This is default clouds. Default clouds on X-Plane. Santiago, you're very welcome. Right, let's see what happens. Tiny bit high over the threshold. Doesn't help the situation. And then there's the flare. Bit too much, you see. And we're just floating along, 10 feet off. Keep floating. There we go. Wasn't quite as far back on that touchdown zone as I expected, really. No, it was pretty far back. And then just straight on those brakes. And look at this. It's that last bit there. The last stage of the brakes is just not going to be that. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm skeptical that you could stop in that time in a reasonably well loaded 757. But there we go. Simfly UK. I will check my Discord. Yeah. Let's do one more view. I do like the traditional runway view. Scoot off to the sides. There we go. Fantastic. Such a great looking airplane. Great livery. And down. Bang! That's the problem with braking too much on that nose wheel. Right. Let's jump into the passenger seat. Which view do we fancy? Oh, I think we'll go with this one today. See some reverser action. Thanks, E-Boss. Thanks for coming along. Fly Sky Airways, thanks for coming along as well. Right, what we're going to do, there's St. Athan as we zoom past it on final approach. We are going to set up the music. I'll get rid of that. Thank you all for coming along. Thank you for the moderators for taking the time to come in and moderate. Thank you for everyone just coming along and chatting and watching. Thank you to those who kindly donated. Really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone for just joining in. And even if you're not chatting, just watching along at home, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming along to the stream. And we will see you again in another video or live stream very soon. I've got a few videos that clearly need to be made, as well as lots of planes I want to fly. So lots to come. So yeah, do please like the video on your way out. If you have enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it. Let's get the outro music up and running, and I'll say thank you very much, and we'll see you again soon. Do keep safe and well. Thank you again, and bye-bye. Oh dear, I've got rid of the thing we need. Oh no, first time I've done that. Okay, right, thank you, bye-bye. There we go.